left knee injury. Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker had meniscus surgery on his left knee today. Coach Andy Reid says he expects Butker to be back later in the season. Jets offensive lineman Tyron Smith is out for Sunday's game against the Colts with a neck injury that could put him on IR. Rookie Olu Fashanu will protect Aaron Rodgers' blind side. Will Rodgers still be playing next year? ESPN's Dan Graziano doesn't see it.
The idea with the Jets was we have a just-add quarterback roster, and they were wrong. So I don't know. Maybe there's another team out there that wouldn't mind repeating the mistake with a 41-year-old quarterback who's high maintenance. I don't know, but I'd be surprised.
Dan Graziano on Unsportsmanlike. Former Chicago Sky coach Teresa Weatherspoon and longtime NBA assistant Phil Hardy joined the new unrivaled 3-on-3 women's basketball league as head coaches.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Monday. A huge weekend in the NFL, plus an elimination game in the SEC, and I'll recap it all in my Upon Further Review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tumplay. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Phil Steele in 15 minutes. Theriot next hour. We got Tigers, Gators. We got Saints trying to go for 2 in a row. And the LSU basketball team. Look out. Madman McMahon is on the prowl. He'll be here in hour 3. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Felt like you kind of got Brian Kelly family on his name, on Matt McMahon's name there a little
Madman McMahon.
Madman. Okay, I thought you stumbled over Matt. I was like,
Madman McMahon.
Madman McMahon.
Madman McMahon. Shout out Craig Dugas. He's a morning sconer, big LSU basketball fan, and he has been Madman McMahonning for 3 years now. Very patiently waiting. Respect to all of you basketball diehards who have been patiently waiting. It appears your time might be nigh. Big win for the basketball Tigers last night at Kansas State. And they were not ever really threatened, by the way. We'll get to that. Matt McMahon will be here in hour 3. LSU and Florida. By now, at this point of the week, you know the drill. LSU, Florida, 2 teams coming off of massively disappointing performances. Florida, with their third-string quarterback, got walloped last week in Austin against Texas. We know what happened with LSU at home against Alabama. Now you go into this game on Saturday. 2 teams looking for a bounce back and playing for very different things. The Gators at 4-5 need 2 wins to get to bowl eligibility. It's LSU, it's Ole Miss, it's at Florida State. I think they can beat Florida State. I don't know if they can beat LSU or Ole Miss. Conventional wisdom would be the more gettable game would be this week, what with LSU's issues on defense and propensity to throw the ball to the other team. LSU, as we've talked about all week, despite as disappointing as last week was, there is a very real mathematical possibility of LSU ending up in Atlanta for the SEC championship against the winner of Texas A&M, and a playoff berth on the line. So LSU still has a lot to play for over these final 3 weeks, but it starts, of course, with this game on Saturday in the Swamp. Tigers have won 5 in a row, 6 of the last 7 in the series. Brian Kelly was asked on Thursday about what his team, like, is he talking about this with his team, understanding that, mathematically, you still have a very real possibility for the SEC championship. Is that something that they're talking about right now?
Priority is we need to clean up our own things that we need to get better at. That's the priority. But you also want to be able to say, hey, look, it's all still in front of you. You went out, you got an opportunity to still be in the playoffs, but also you have a great opportunity, to finish this season with 6-2 in the SEC, and that's pretty darn good. To go 18 wins over 3 years in the SEC is a lot. And so these guys understand that, but it started with, here's what we need to do to be better so we can even think about those things. And then, by the way, if you keep playing and you play better and you play more consistent, the door's still open for you. It has not closed.
Door is very much open for this LSU football team. Now, we all know two things that LSU has got to fix. The same two things they needed to fix coming out of Texas A&M that they didn't fix against Florida. You got to defend the running quarterback, which they've been unable to do, and you got to stop throwing the ball to the other team. We talked about it for 2 weeks after A&M, and those were the two things that punched you in the nose against Alabama in an embarrassing loss. So that's why this week we've talked so much about DJ Lagway, the 5-star freshman quarterback, the number 1 quarterback in the country. He's played in 8 games this year, didn't play against Texas because, as we sit here on Friday, 13 days ago, he was carted off the field in Jacksonville against Georgia after he went down with a hamstring injury. Well, Billy Napier on Wednesday gave this update on Lagway.
DJ continues to improve. I think we've seen progress every day, and I think that's allowed him to participate more in practice. Obviously, we're kind of controlling that environment, but in general, I think we continue to trend in the right direction.
And then on Thursday evening, word broke from Kevin Brockway and on the Florida participation report where Lagway was not listed that Lagway is in fact going to play against LSU. So I know there's a doomsday scenario that many of you are thinking at this point because Lagway is a 6'3", 240-pound quarterback who can spin it and also is a very dynamic athlete and can run the football. My contention is, and will continue to be, you don't suffer a hamstring injury that's so severe that you're carted off the field and then 2 weeks later you're 100% or anything close to it. You can get treatment, you can rest it, but we all know those things will linger. That soft tissue injury will linger if you don't give it time. I don't know what percentage DJ Lagway is going to be, what health percentage, but it is impossible for me to imagine him being anywhere close to 100%. And then there's obviously the question about Montrell Johnson, the former ULL running back who's now with the Gators as well. They are just not very dynamic. And then defensively, they're very injured in the secondary, and they're statistically the worst defense LSU is going to face all year. Tigers should be able to move the ball and score. If Lagway is limited, it plays right into what LSU does exceptionally well, which is cover. But what they do exceptionally well is rush the passer, but they've also been able to cover at times. You've got to not turn the ball over. And Brian Kelly on Thursday night, when he met with reporters, he was asked about Garrett Nussmeier and what kind of week Garrett has had, and this is what Brian Kelly said.
I've spent a lot of time with him this week. I think he's been thoughtful, intentional. He's taken leadership. I just like the way he's locked in this week. And my experience tells me that when a quarterback is this locked in, you might want to watch the game because I think he's going to have a heck of a game.
I love that. I love that. I would have said the same thing after the disappointing finish against Texas A&M with everything on the line against Alabama at home, night game, massive crowd, all the buildup. You would have thought the same thing. But maybe this is the time where Nuss needs to turn it on and does, and the Tigers go and put up a big day offensively against a really suspect defense. But we talked about it as well last week. This is a down year defensively for Alabama. LSU moved the ball against Alabama. They were their own worst enemy at times, getting the ball first and goal inside the 5 and not converting 6, opening possession of the second half, driving right down the field, interception at the goal line. You just got to protect the ball. Florida announced today, by the way, this is a sellout. It's one of the reasons, I know this is weird to say, you wouldn't think it because of it's Florida and they've historically had a great program. This is a game, one of the reasons why Florida never wanted the permanent opponent with LSU to go away is because every other year they knew they were going to sell out this game. And that is not commonplace at the Swamp. I know that's weird to think, but they don't have a whole season sellout. they know when LSU comes every other year, they sell out that game. So even this 4-win Florida team, this 4-5 football team coming off a blowout loss against Texas, they've sold out the LSU game. So 2:30 Central, yes, I believe this is going to be a raucous crowd in the Swamp at the start. It's on LSU to make sure that doesn't snowball against them down in Gainesville. LSU and Florida, 2:30. The one other thing, we're talking about Lagway and the running quarterback, and one of the things that Brian Kelly was asked about was the safety play. And we've talked about it a lot here throughout the year because it's just very clear, and you don't want to call players out, but it's very clear that's been an issue. I mean, for the first month of the season, they were rolling 6 guys in at safety trying to find out who they felt they could trust. They settled on some veteran guys. In the last couple of weeks, that's not gone well. And Brian Kelly was asked what they've done to help the safeties here of late. And he did mention one practical thing that they've done, and includes the communication on the field.
We put the green dot in the safety's helmet a couple of weeks ago to assist. And so the green dot went from the linebacker's position to Greg Penn, and we put it in Sage's helmet to address that specifically. But if you're talking about the specifics in the game, you know, there was a lot of space, and our safeties had to be really, really good at being inside out on the ball carrier and making tackles in with too much air. And what we have to do collectively is shrink that down a lot more. That means better defensive line play, linebacker play, and initial force play, so they don't have to make a tackle from the size of this room, you know, with a guy 235 pounds coming up through that hole.
It makes sense. If you're better at every level, it's going to make the safeties giving you run support easier if they have to tackle in a smaller space instead of letting the quarterback get around the edge without being touched. Now your safeties have to tackle it in an open field against a very athletic player. Every level of the defense has to be better. I would also submit there's a counterpoint to that about the green dot. If you did that a couple of weeks ago, and remember that means so Blake Baker on the headset could be talking to Sage Ryan up until 15 seconds on the play clock, giving him instruction, trying to help, assist there. It didn't work. So I don't know how helpful that is. I really just think it's one of those things where you're going to be limited by your personnel until you aren't limited by your personnel. So who you play matters. You play Connor Wegman, you were awesome. You play maybe a limited Taylor Green, you were awesome. Even Jackson Dart, when Trey Harris went out of the game, you were awesome. Sacking and pressuring Jackson Dart. And you should be able to do the same this weekend against DJ Lagway. We'll see how the Tigers can do. LSU and Florida, 2:30 kickoff from the Swamp. All right, it's After Further Review. Show Open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Whether you're at a bar, at your house, or at the game, make sure you grab that ice-cold, refreshing taste of Bud Light. And you can find the LSU officially licensed cans, aluminum cans, and aluminum bottles. So check it out at your favorite retailers and whatever bar, restaurant you might be at. Make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Okay, Phil Steele joins us to preview the biggest games of the college football weekend. Theriot in 45 minutes. Matt McMahon is here in hour number 3. We're glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel. 2 great hotel properties, Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Hey, remember, we're going to get into the weekend, the Watermark Hotel Downtown. I want to remind you this. If you have not ever done this before, I want you to get your brunch, your Sunday brunch reservations at the Watermark. Plan it around church, whatever time. If you're going to wake up on Sunday, 2:30 game for LSU. It'll be an earlier day, so maybe an earlier night. You can get up, do brunch before church, after church, whatever it may be. Get to the Gregory inside the Watermark Hotel and experience Sunday brunch at the Watermark. It's an awesome spot. People watch there on 3rd Street. Beautiful, bright, open-air restaurant in the lobby of the Watermark Hotel. So much gorgeous historical architecture in that building. It's such a great place to go dine. The food's exquisite there at the Gregory. Try Sunday brunch at the Gregory inside the Watermark Hotel. And remember, complimentary valet parking when you're dining at the Gregory. It's inside the Watermark Hotel.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
The best-kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Man, we only got a few of these left. Football Friday. Great to have Phil Steele with us, as always, previewing the biggest games of the weekend. You get him on Twitter, X, at PhilSteele042, and, of course, PhilSteele.com, STEELE, PhilSteele.com. Phil, great to have you, as always. How are you?
I am doing great, Matt. How about yourself?
Doing really well. Tigers, bummer last week, but still, oddly, a lot to play for. So people are looking forward to this game in Gainesville this weekend, which we'll get to. But let me start with a renewal of an old rivalry. Texas at Arkansas. I don't know how much these players, Phil, actually care about this rivalry, but fans on both sides, especially some of the old school fans, certainly do. Arkansas is a 13-point home dog there. Maybe an inspired effort early in the morning up there in Fayetteville in a rivalry game?
Yeah, I tell you what, Matt, if this game was played 4 weeks ago, I would be pounding the table for Arkansas to pull the outright upset, because we know how Pittman was doing as a dog, and Pittman against ranked teams. Then came LSU, then came Mississippi. So sort of a little stunned by those two results prior to the way that Arkansas had played the big boys. I think they might have one game left in them. We'll see how healthy Taylon Green is. He's been a little bit of a question mark. But Texas is a team that can smash you. I don't have a great play on this one, but I would lean with Arkansas just for the fact that I know Pittman can get his team fired up as a dog and against ranked teams, and we'll have to see what he does in this one.
Utah and Colorado is another interesting, Phil, because Colorado controls their destiny in the Big 12 and then, by extension, the college football playoff race. And Utah, God, they almost did it last week, Phil. I mean, maybe their athletic director said they did do it. But 4-5, a letdown spot on the road. Colorado is a double-digit favorite here, 11 points. Which way do you lean with Colorado and Utah?
Yeah, and you have to go, with Colorado for the fact they've covered 7 in a row. You know how I feel about streaks. You play on a streak, you win many times, you lose only once. Utah does have an excellent defense. Utah did just take on an unbeaten BYU and basically beat them at home. They are going on the road. They haven't had any blowout losses this year. They've had some close ones. They did lose their quarterback who started last week, Brandon Rose, so they're back to Isaac Wilson as the starter. But Colorado's playing good, and they're playing actually good defense, which is something they didn't really do last year. They're holding opponents to 59 yards per game below their average. So you got the altitude. You got a couple factors in Colorado's favor here. I'm going to lean with Colorado to keep that streak rolling.
Jump over into the ACC with Clemson and Pitt, still in that 11 a.m. Central window. Clemson, while 7-2 overall, still 6-1 in the conference, so very much still in the mix to play for the conference championship and potential playoff berth. They're on the road at Pitt, which after starting 7-0 has lost a couple in a row now. Clemson is a 12-point road favorite. Pitt maybe a live dog here?
No, actually, I like Clemson in this one. When I look at Pitt, they're a team that was sort of fortunate to be unbeaten. They had the two big comebacks against Cincinnati and West Virginia. Cal missed a field goal at the end of the game. And even the Syracuse game they won, it was via the turnover. They were out first down 23-13 in that game. So I haven't been blown away with Pitt this year, and they seem to come back true to form in the last two games. You go back to that SMU game, they trailed 48-11 in the fourth quarter, got two garbage touchdowns. Meanwhile, Clemson's a team that's been giving up some garbage touchdowns. They played NC State, gave up 3 touchdowns, 200 yards in the fourth quarter. They played Virginia, gave up 2 touchdowns in the final 2 minutes. So their defense actually better than the numbers. I like their offense, and I don't think they're going to be intimidated by the home crowd here. I like Clemson minus the points in that one.
Okay. Phil's with us here, philsteele.com. A lot of people here in Louisiana are going to be keenly interested in Tulane going on the road at Navy. Navy's another team that's cooled a bit, and boy, Tulane looks really good right now. The Wave are a 7.5-point road favorite. They're 6-0 in the American, Phil, which I don't know how you feel about it, but maybe an outside playoff shot. We'll see how it all continues to work out. But Tulane at Navy, how do you see it?
Yeah, I think it's clearly between Tulane and Boise State. Whoever wins out gets it. And if both win out, I think Boise probably gets it. But damn, Tulane's been impressive this year, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they are just crushing teams on a weekly basis. About the only week they didn't with the Rice game was a little bit of a question mark. But other than that, they've been blowing teams out. I like the fact that when John Summerall was at Troy, then their defense coordinator, they played Army twice and held Army down both games. So they know how to defend the option. They are the better team. I think they're able to go on the road and get the win here. I like Tulane minus the points in that one.
Phil, let me get a couple more before we break. We'll talk about the night games as well. Almost out of obligation, I'll ask you about Notre Dame, even though this may not be a very competitive game. The Irish are a 21.5-point favorite at home against Virginia, but as long as Notre Dame keeps rolling, they're still very much in the playoff mix. If they win out, of course, we know there's no conference championship to win. They'd have to be an at-large. I keep waiting for like a sneaky letdown spot, a sleepy spot for Notre Dame, and I don't know, maybe this is it. What do you think about Virginia going to South Bend as a 3-touchdown underdog?
Anytime Notre Dame takes on an ACC team, I'm going to take the Irish. They're 17-2 against ACC teams.
Okay.
And they've been just blowing teams out. And you look at Virginia, 2 weeks ago, let's ignore the Pitt game for a second. 2 weeks ago, they were at home against North Carolina and lost by 27. And I think that Notre Dame's a much better team than that. Against Clemson, as mentioned, they got 2 touchdowns in the final 2 minutes to get to 31 points. Other than that, we're really outplayed. So I think Notre Dame's a better team. They seem to get up for these ACC games and not only win but cover, and I like that. So I'm going to go with Notre Dame minus the points in that one.
Another big line, but a team still in line potentially for a college football playoff berth is SMU. I mean, Phil, almost out of nowhere, here comes Shades of the Pony Express. Maybe not exactly the run game, but anyway, they're at home. They're against Boston College. SMU is an 18.5-point home favorite. Thoughts about the Ponies at home?
Yeah, if you're going to go anyway in this game, you got to go with SMU. I think when you look at SMU, they've been playing extremely well. Go back to their game 2 weeks ago, which I had just talked about, and SMU was blowing out their opponent 48-11. Ended up with a 48-25 win. Now, for Boston College, the amazing thing here is that Thomas Castellanos got benched last week, right? So he took his ball and went home. He left the team. So now they're to Grayson James as the starting quarterback. James did do well last week against Syracuse, led the win in the comeback. He's got some starting experience from his days at FIU, but I don't know about Grayson James starting on the road against SMU, and I haven't been blown away with Boston College this year, so I'm going with SMU minus the points in that one.
I lied. Let me get one more in before we break. And maybe just because I think LSU fans are going to be interested in watching USC all season. Nebraska's got to go over a couple of time zones. They've struggled a little bit, we know, as well of late. Southern Cal, 4-5. The temperature cranked up on Lincoln Riley. Southern Cal's a 7.5-point home favorite here. Huskers in the points, maybe a lean. What do we think?
Yeah, I do like Nebraska plus the points. I will say this about USC. While they're 4-5 in the Vegas power ratings that I have on philsteele.com, they are number 18 in the country. So they are. You look at them. I mean, the Michigan game, they were one play away from winning. The Penn State game went double overtime. They led the entire game, one play away from winning. Maryland, if they make the field goal as opposed to having it blocked and setting up a Maryland touchdown, they win that game. Washington, twice they were stopped on downs inside the 20-yard line at the end of the game, one play away from winning. They're basically one play away from being 8-1, perhaps even 9-0. They're a dangerous team, but Nebraska is a very good team. I like the way they went into Ohio State and only lost by 4. They've got one of the better defensive tackle combinations in the country in Hutmacher and Robinson. And they're a team that needs to get to bowl eligibility. You know, they get to 5 wins last year. They lost their last 4 games, all by single digits. They get to 5 wins this year. They've lost their last 3 games, 2 of them by single digits. They need to get to a doggone bowl. So I'm going to take Nebraska plus the points in that one.
He is Phil Steele. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back, get to the night games, including LSU and Florida. Of course, that's an afternoon game. We always wrap with that game. PhilSteele.com, STEELE, PhilSteele.com. We'll continue here on Football Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. If you are thinking about selling your home, you got to call Darren James. 335-7666. 335-7666 or agent225.com. Remember, every home listed by every company, all in one place. You know where to find it at agent225.com. Highly recommend you get to Darren's website, see all the tools that they have there. Follow him on social media as well. Darren's got so much great info on his social media accounts. And one of the best things about living in Louisiana is the affordability. The cost of living in Louisiana is generally lower than in other states, but it can vary depending on where you choose to live. So if you're house hunting and you're looking for costs and different avenues, lower house costs, especially outside of the major cities, some great properties, let Darren hold your hand and find that perfect property for you and your family. Go to agent225.com, agent225.com for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
The best kept.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, rolling along here on a Football Friday edition of AFR. Glad to have Phil Steele with us as he joins us every Friday. Of course, you can get philsteele.com, S-T-E-E-L-E. philsteele.com. Go take that Phil Steele Plus tour, complete with all the selections. The YouTube video link is embedded right there on the homepage at philsteele.com. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. Phil, let's jump into the SEC there in the afternoon window. One that a lot of LSU fans will be keeping an eye on is Missouri at South Carolina. Tigers really need South Carolina to win this game, and boy, they've been impressive. They're a 13.5-point home favorite over Mizzou. Looks like no Brady Cook again for the Tigers. What can they do offensively? South Carolina, did the Gamecocks keep it rolling at home?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you look at South Carolina, they got one of the best defensive sevens in college football. They got the offense rolling. I love what Rocket Sanders is doing. He's looking like a Rocket Sanders of 2 years ago. Lenora Sellers looks better by the week. And let's face it, I think if Lenora Sellers stays healthy against LSU, they probably win that game.
Yeah.
So this is a very dangerous South Carolina team, one that only lost to 2 points at Alabama, and Missouri just struggles on the road. Look at their 2 road games this year. They lost at A&M by 31. They lost at Alabama by 34. I think you have a much better team. Missouri's propped up by a soft schedule. That soft schedule ends here. I'll take South Carolina minus the points.
What about Boise and San Jose State? Of course, Boise eyeing a playoff berth. They're a 2-touchdown road favorite here against San Jose State, but maybe a tricky spot at night there in San Jose. Boise at San Jose State.
I think Ken Niumatalolo is doing a phenomenal job with San Jose State this year. I had them picked towards the lower part of the conference, but they're 6-3. However, they've played a fairly soft schedule. That's why they're there. And they haven't played a team like Boise. So I think when you finally line up and put a team like Boise on the field, they're going to struggle. And Boise had their scare last week. I think Nevada maybe shook them up a little bit, only winning by 7 as a 3-touchdown favorite. Now they're only a 2-touchdown favorite. I'll take Boise minus the points.
We'll stay out west there. Oregon, the #1 team in the country. Well, they're actually going to the Midwest. They'll be playing this one at Camp Randall. It's the night game on NBC. Oregon is at Wisconsin. Ducks are a 13.5-point favorite. And Phil, I always look at weekends like this where maybe there isn't the giant marquee game on the schedule, those sleepy Saturdays where you wonder, all right, is this where someone's primed for a November upset? Thoughts on the Ducks going into Camp Randall at night?
You know, at first glance, Matt, I was thinking, well, Oregon, of course, is going to be Wisconsin. I mean, Wisconsin lost to Bama by 32, USC by 17, Penn State by 15, and Iowa by 32, so how can they possibly stay with the #1 team in the country? But surprisingly, my average game grade for the teams only has Oregon about a 5-point favorite. And my last 4 weeks' average game grade only has them a 3-point favorite, which really surprised me. I went back, double-checked all the numbers. Yeah, they're all accurate. So I'm going to lean with the home dog here, Wisconsin. As you mentioned, it's at night. It's at Camp Randall. Remember, Wisconsin led USC 21-10 at the half. They played a really good first half against Bama. They led Penn State at the half. I think if they can stay together in the fourth quarter and not fall off like they have been against the big boys, they got a good chance of covering this one.
All right, Phil, one that every LSU fan is keeping a keen eye on. This is probably the biggest one on the card outside of LSU playing Florida. It's Tennessee at Georgia. We'll see what Nico's status is for Tennessee. Georgia, disappointing a week ago, got walloped by Ole Miss. Now they come home in a gotta-have-it type game. And, Phil, you can help me here. That line has come down. I mean, we saw it open around 13. It's all the way down as I look at it now at 9.5. So a lot of people maybe buying Tennessee. Maybe you thought that maybe some smart people think that Nico is going to play in this game. What do you make of the line movement there, and how do you see it?
Yeah, I think the 13 was probably a really soft opening number. I saw Georgia more like a 8-9 point favorite when the real lines came out. So I haven't seen a lot of line movement on the game, and Nico is very questionable, as you mentioned. So is ETN, of course, for Georgia. My favorite play here, Matt, would be the under. I think Tennessee's got a very underrated defense. Everybody talks about Tennessee. They talk about the offense. Their defense is holding foes to 98 yards per game below their average, number 7 in the country. Let's face it, Georgia's offensive line hasn't been as good as I thought it would be. Their receiving core is not dangerous, and if ETN's out, they don't have a lot of offensive weapons, and do you take a lot of chances with Carson Beck? Meanwhile, defensively, Georgia's got one of the best defenses in the country, holding opponents to 110 yards below their season average, number 5. I do think Georgia off a loss gets the win, but my favorite play here is to take the under.
Okay. Under, and boy, Phil, I don't care if it's 3-2. As long as Georgia wins that game, everybody here is going to be happy. Under 47.5 is what Phil likes in that game. All right, Washington State and New Mexico. We've talked about it a little bit, and maybe, Phil, I'll just keep throwing these up to you out of respect for Wazoo sitting there at 8-1 because nobody's really talking about them, but I know you have. But at 8-1, it's hard to ignore altogether. Soft schedule, but they're a 10-point road favorite here against New Mexico. Does Wazoo get to 9-1?
They should get the win, but it's going to be a high-scoring game, Matt, as you would expect by the number. I think the number is 72 on the game.
72.5 is what I'm showing right now, yeah.
Yeah, Washington State's defense allowing opponents more than their yardage. New Mexico's defense is number 133 in the country, giving up 128 yards per game above average. But New Mexico's offense under Bronco Mendenhall, very surprising. They have got, on the season so far, 480 yards per game, 109 yards above what their opponents normally allow. Washington State, of course, has John Mateer, one of the more underrated, exciting quarterbacks in the country. So I think we're going to see points on the board. I think New Mexico does have backdoor potential in that one. So I like Washington State to win the game in a high-scoring game.
Phil Steele is with us. Let's get to a couple of more. Phil, this might be the stinky line of the week. There's BYU, 9-0, undefeated, at home against a 3-win Kansas Jayhawk team. It's the 9:15 Central game where, I guess, the former Pac-12 After Dark, the wacky things that happen. BYU, though, just a 2.5-point favorite in Provo over a 3-win Kansas team. Make it make sense, Phil.
You know, and the funny thing is, when we broke down this game, me and the staff, what we do every Monday, we go through every game on the board. You went through BYU and you said, ooh, they could have lost to Utah, could have lost to Oklahoma State. They're sort of like last year's TCU, hanging by a thread. Or not last year's, but 2 years ago's TCU, which won every game by a thread. Then you look at Kansas. And Kansas may be 3-7 or 3-6 coming into this, but look at their losses this year. They led Illinois in the fourth quarter. They led UNLV in the fourth quarter. They led West Virginia by 2 scores in the fourth quarter. They led TCU in the second half. They led Arizona State with 2 minutes to go, and they could have beaten Kansas State on the road. And last week they just kicked Iowa State's butt. They're the most underrated team in the country. Then I looked at the line and I said, oh, I guess Vegas studies this stuff too for some reason. So that's why they got it at 2. And they're just begging you to bet on BYU in this one, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I think I have been super impressed with Kansas almost every game this season, but especially the last 3 weeks. They buried a really good, an improving Houston team, almost beat Kansas State on the road, and then crushed Iowa State last week. That's a really good Kansas team. They've got some weapons. So I think it's going to be a great game.
You brought me right to the edge. Are we picking Kansas? What do we think? Maybe no play, but what do you think?
Yeah, no play would be my call.
Just sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah, I think if the line was over 3, I would have a play on Kansas. There's no line value at 2.5, but I don't see. It's a tough one to pick.
Man, I'll be watching that one. That would be fascinating if we saw BYU fall from the ranks of the unbeaten in the early morning hours of Sunday. All right, Phil. LSU and Florida. It couldn't be more disappointing for either of these teams a week ago. Both lopsided losses. Florida on the road at Texas, LSU at home against Alabama. And now a game where LSU's won 5 in a row. They go to Florida. We learned DJ Lagway will play against LSU, but can the Tigers pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and find a way to get back in the win column after back-to-back losses? Florida, a 4-point home dog.
Yeah, to me, that's a big question mark game. Because I think if Lagway plays, and he is 100%, and he's running like he can run, Florida's got a shot. I was really impressed with them. Now, their secondary's banged up, and that doesn't bode well against LSU. Garrett Nussmeier and those receiving corps could take advantage of it, much like Texas did last week, throwing for 352 yards. But if Lagway's not 100%, I think it's going to be tough for him to stay with LSU, especially LSU off a loss, needing a win. So fun one to watch. I do think LSU comes out of there with a straight-up win.
Phil Steele, make sure you get to philsteele.com. Take that Phil Steele Plus Tour. Phil, let's tell them a little bit more about the Phil Steele Plus Tour and how it's going this year.
Yeah, the tour's on a nice 18-10 run over the last 3 weeks. And when you take the tour, you get yourself 5 selections, 4 quick hitters, basically 9 free plays complete with reasoning. Just go to philsteele.com, click on the front menu, and when you look there, you just click on the tour with selections, and it'll take you right to the YouTube channel. And go ahead and take the tour tonight. Get yourself some free winners.
It's already up, philsteele.com, STEELE, philsteele.com. Make sure you go take that Phil Steele Plus Tour. Phil's with us every Friday here, previewing the biggest games of the college football weekend. Phil, you're the best. We appreciate it. As always, only a couple more opportunities to do this, man. We're excited about the rest of the season, man. Thank you for the time, as always.
Yeah, season went really quick, huh, Matt?
Always seems like it does, man. But hopefully, still a lot to play for with 2 more weeks of the regular season remaining. Thanks, Phil.
All right, thanks.
Be well. It is after further review. We'll wrap up hour number 1 next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Duplessis Builders. If you are thinking about building a pool, maybe you, your family, are having that conversation, or you have a pool currently that needs to be renovated, remodeled, updated. Maybe you bought a home with an older design of a pool. You want to upgrade it, update it. You need to call Duplessis Builders now, especially if you want your backyard paradise totally finished by the time swimming season comes. I know you might be thinking, Matt, it's November. We're not even close to the spring. I get it, but remember, the whole design and permitting process can take 6 to 8 weeks. Then you got to get on the schedule for Duplessis. And then once they break ground, you're talking about a 2-month build-out. Derek's very upfront about that. They do not cut corners. This isn't a 2-week pooled build-out. It takes 2 weeks for concrete to cure. They're never going to rush the process. That's how they're able to give you that 10-year workmanship warranty. So you want all your landscaping done and grown and ready to go by the time swimming season comes. You need to start now. DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 9.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
It looks like Eric's going to be a go. Should be good to go. I thought we did the right thing here the last couple weeks with his his volume in practice. Amped it up a little bit every day. He looks like he's ready to go. So unless we have a setback between now and Sunday, I would imagine he'll be in there.
Darren Rizzi on Friday with the good news. Looks like Eric McCoy will make his return to the New Orleans Saints for Sunday's game against the Cleveland Browns. Officially on the injury report, he is listed as questionable. We'll get to the full injury report here in just a quick second, but as we all well remember, the Saints lost Eric McCoy on the opening series of the third game, that game against Philly, and that really was the beginning of the tailspin that the Saints went into after their really impressive opening season wins against Carolina and Dallas, 2 teams that we now know are both very bad. But even still, you were there. Had chances to win against Philly, had chances to win against Atlanta. It's all revisionist history at this point. You can't change any of it. The Saints are moving forward, but they'll move forward, it looks like, on Sunday with Eric McCoy coming back. The initial target had been after the bye at home against the Rams, but McCoy worked very hard, as we were told, and as Ross Jackson reported over at LouisianaSports.net, McCoy worked very hard to get back early, and clearly he's beaten that timeline now. Going to play, very likely going to play on Sunday for the New Orleans Saints. Rizzi also was asked about McCoy returning and how much that changes this offense.
You certainly can get more creative with a guy like Eric because there's so much he can do. He has very few limitations. And so when you bring in a backup at any position, you may try to simplify some things and not get as complicated. What Eric allows you to do is open up the whole playbook. There's really nothing that the offensive line can't do with him in there. And so without getting too detailed, there's really, we're not handcuffed or we're not, hamstrung into anything that we can't do. And so because, in my opinion, he's got no limitations as a center.
The one bummer is Lucas Patrick is out. So Lucas Patrick and Jamal Williams both missed practice this week. They are both out for the game on Sunday. So Patrick and Williams are out. We would assume that Nick Saldiveri would get the start at left guard, but McCoy coming back, you'll still be down one starting offensive line with Lucas Patrick out. The rest of the injury report, Patrick and Williams, as I mentioned, out. Pete Werner, these are the questionable players. Pete Werner, J.T. Gray, Eric McCoy, who you heard Darren Rizzi say, they expect him to play, but he's questionable as of right now, barring some kind of setback. Kool-Aid McKinstry, Cedric Wilson, and Nephi Sewell, all questionable. McCoy and McKinstry, they all practiced, so very likely to go. And Sewell coming off that knee injury, looks like he could be good to go as well. If it all depends if they activate him. You play that one if you would. Muse. Rizzi was asked about when they might activate Nephi Sewell coming off that knee injury.
So, we're going to make a decision here with the actual actives and inactives and call-ups and all that. I think Nephi is part of that equation, but he's ready to go physically. Had 3 really good weeks of practice, I thought, in my opinion. Looked really good this week. And so, I think Nephi is ready to go. It's just a matter of, whether or not we're going to bring him to the game or not yet.
Saints-Browns, see if Saints can get back-to-back wins. It'll be this Sunday at the Dome. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. I always tell you, eye care, eyewear, eye surgery. You can have your eye exam there. If you wear contacts or glasses, of course, you can buy your contacts or glasses there at the optical shop. And then if you're thinking about any type of refractive procedure, the Williamson Eye Center can do that. And the newest location open now in St. Francisville. It's their latest location. You can shop for your optical there, for your contacts and glasses. You can do your eye exams, post-op care. So there's no need to go, if you live in St. Francisville, to Zachary or New Roads for that post-op care or for your eye exam. You can do it now in St. Francisville. And remember, y'all, we're getting closer to the end of the year. If you're thinking about that refractive procedure, you can use your FSA funds. Remember, those don't roll over. Those expire at the end of the year. So if you have FSA funds, you can use them toward your eye surgery. They also offer financing, 24 months, 0% deferred interest. They're never let price be something that holds you from getting that refractive procedure and being able to see. The Williamson Eye Center, they have options. Give them a buzz. Set up that consultation. 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonI.com. All right, time for the tailgate segment. Hit it, Muse.
At LSU, we play hard, but we tailgate harder. Light your burner, fire up the grill. It's time for our Football Friday tailgate recipe of the week with Chris's Specialty Foods. 4 locations, or go to chrisspecialtyfoods.com.
Well, it's Gator Hater Week. Coben's in studio with our Saludos, little Frank. He was right there on that tray. How are you, dude?
What's up, Matt? Glad to be here.
Always good to have you. And, of course, it's Florida week, which means brought in a little gator, all charred up and grilled and ready to eat, just like the Tigers going to do tomorrow. Tell us about our little friend here.
Yeah, everybody knows it's Gator time, so we did the whole Gators. This is about a 3-footer. We have about 6 to 12 pound Gators in stock right now, if anyone's wanting to grill.
How much does he weigh?
This is an 8-pounder.
8-pounder.
Yeah.
Okay, so just for some context, you said this is about 3 feet.
Yeah.
8 pounds. How many people could this guy feed?
You're probably looking at 12 to 15 people on it, nibbling on it. So the process I did on this one was injecting the whole thing with our Cajun butter that we sell, and then season it with our Chris's seasoning. And then I put it in the smoker for 4 hours at 250. If you don't have a smoker, it'll do the same thing in the oven. You just won't have that smoke flavor. So you're looking about 250 at 4 hours if you wanted to do the whole Gator.
What you got for the eyeballs there? Look at that guy.
Yeah, Chef did a little hog tie on the legs, make it look good. And then he did some cherry tomatoes for the eyes.
Ah, okay. If you're listening, not watching, some cherry tomatoes in the eye, got a little orange in the mouth. Was that cabbage?
Yes.
Cabbage. So you got the purple, and then they cut a lemon into LSU. So the presentation is great. I think this is the first time also that we've kind of tied up the arms here.
Yeah, Chef did he wanted to throw a little spin on it, so he hog tied it. Hoping LSU does the same thing on Saturday.
You know what, man? Last week, all the PETA people going crazy about the tiger in the cage. If they're watching this now, they're going to send me all these angry emails they've been sending me all week about this gator here. But I'm going to tell you what, that's some good eating there, man.
Absolutely.
So this is a 3-foot gator, feeds, you said about 8 pounds, feeds about 12 to 15 people. And gator meat, I'm sure everybody's had gator meat, right? Everybody here, if it's an appetizer or whatever. Tastes like chicken?
Yeah.
Doesn't everything taste like chicken?
Yeah, chicken, but a little gamier, but not too bad. And if you're not looking for the whole gator, we offer tail meat that you can fry already cubed up. We have 2 different types of sausages, a smoked sausage and a regular sausage. So if you're not looking for the presentation, if you just want to chew on the opponent a little, we have tail meat you can fry and both kinds of sausage.
So, by the way, if people want a gator for tomorrow, that's 2:30 game, so you got to get cooking early.
Yeah.
Then come by the store today or call. What do they do?
Yeah, all 4 locations are stocked right now with sausages and gator, so you can walk in and get some. They'll still be available tomorrow morning also. So
what time y'all open in the morning?
8 a.m. All stores 8 a.m.
So pop into any of the Chris's locations. The new one on Highlands got them too?
Yep.
Cool. So pop into any of the Chris's locations, Lakeview in New Orleans.
Lakeview in New Orleans, Central, and Millerville.
All of them. So pop on into Chris's, grab you a gator. Thrill your guests tomorrow, courtesy of Chris's Specialty Foods. And by the way, if they don't have a smoker, you said you could do it in the oven. What about on a grill?
Yeah, you can also do it on a grill. Just try to maintain that heat at a lower time. You want to go low and slow on these. Make sure it fully cooks inside throughout. So you could also do it on a grill. Try to keep it around 250. And you could also do it 3 to 4 hours on the grill.
Oh, so 250 for 3 or 4 hours? Okay,
yes.
So 2:30 kickoff. You want to eat around noon or have it ready for game time, get it started about 8, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, you're looking at 8 a.m.
Yeah, all right, get it ready to roll. So call Chris's over there, any of the 4 locations. They'll get you set up with one of these gators. By the way, also, I know we've been talking about it, but I didn't realize, man, Thanksgiving is 2 weeks from now. We're inside of 2 weeks, and you were telling me off air that if people want the Thanksgiving vittles from Chris's, a week from today's the last day?
Yeah, so next Friday will be the last time we're taking orders. We're offering the bundles with the smoked birds, fried birds, turducken rolls, all your family sides. So we'll have everything needed for the family Thanksgiving.
If you go to the website, chrisspecialtyfoods.com, there's a Thanksgiving tab right there at the top. Again, it's chrisspecialtyfoods.com. So the back-to-back S's, chrisspecialtyfoods.com. and there's all the you get the turkey, the stuffed turkey, the turduckens, all the sides, and everything like that. So you can kind of build out your Thanksgiving dinner with whatever you want over there, courtesy of turkey rolls. I don't think I've ever had a turkey roll. Look at that. Turducken roll. Look at y'all. And deer meat processing as well.
Yep.
Y'all
Deer
rolling
season.
over there.
Yep. Bring on your deer. We can process it.
Love it. Chris's Specialty Foods, 4 locations. Go get your Gators and eat the competition. All right, LSU, Florida, what you got?
I'm going to go 28-24, right around the over-under. I think it's like around 52. So I'm going to go LSU 28, Florida 24.
52 or is it 56? What'd you say? All right, anyway, it's 52?
I thought it was 52 and a half.
Oh, okay. So if you said 28-24?
Yeah,
let's
LSU.
go, man. Just Tigers got to get a win.
Some kind of win, yeah.
Got to get a win, get back on the right track, man. Come home and beat up on Vanderbilt because next week we're eating birds.
Yes.
Commodores? No, that's not a bird. That's a man. That's a guy who lives by the sea. Thank you, Coben. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Matt.
Coben over at Chris's Specialty Foods. Theriot's in studio next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. You know, you get those Cat 5 storm impact resistant windows when passers-by come in and they look into your home as you're cooking that Gator and they're all jealous and they think they might want to smash and grab the Gator right off your kitchen table. No, you know what? They're not getting in because those are Cat 5 storm impact resistant windows. You know the video, you remember years you see Brandon Holly hitting the window with the crowbar. They had one at Theriot hitting it with the bat and couldn't break through the glass. That's those windows. We have them at our house as well. Extra layer of security at your home. Obviously, it's going to beautify the exterior of your home, and it's going to lower your energy bills. During the warm weather months, it's going to keep the cool air in. During the cold weather months, it's going to keep the cold air out, make your home more energy efficient in time they pay for themselves, and, of course, increasing your home's resale value. It's at Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. One of the biggest games on the NFL Sunday menu, the 8-2 Bills hosting the 9-0 Chiefs. The Bills won't have tight end Dalton Kincaid. He's out with a left knee injury. Another weapon down for Buffalo quarterback Josh Allen. ESPN's Ryan Clark.
If he plays extremely well in this game with some of the people he has down and he beats Patrick Mahomes, I believe there will be a huge cry to put Josh Allen in the MVP conversation, maybe number 2 after Lamar Jackson, because people just feel like he deserves one.
Ryan Clark on Get Up. Lions tight end Sam Laporta out for Sunday against the Jaguars with a shoulder sprain. Packers running back Marshawn Lloyd has been trying to work his way back from IR with ankle and hamstring injuries, and now he's expected to have an emergency appendectomy today. Bengals wideout T. Higgins expected to play Sunday against the Chargers. He's missed the last 3 weeks with a quad injury. Cincinnati defensive end Trey Hendrickson also expected to play, even though he missed practice today.
Here's one stat that's super simple to remember. Discover automatically doubles the cash back on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cash Back Match. With Discover, you could turn $150 cash back to $300. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
It's that Louisiana boy, yeah, they call him the Riot. Born and raised in the swamps, on the fight like a tiger. He going beast mode, baby, he a beast though. What you think he supposed to do? You picture better reload. Yeah, the boy.
After further review, the Riot Radio Hour with Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot, presented by Alpha Customs. Alpha Customs, Prairieville and Lafayette, and online at alphacustoms.net.
Well, how's your week going?
Week was good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, but good. I'm full of good ideas.
Here comes Theriot. The throw. Not in time. Scudero delivers and the Giants lead 4-3 in the 10th.
The wave pool, although probably full of bacteria, flesh-eating parasites, and the occasional turd, provides endless hours of fun. It's not cool to have a 30A sticker on the back of your grocery go-getter. Big fan of the truck.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
All O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
News. You are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Yeah,
bro.
How are you, man? How's that week going for you?
Good week. Good one.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
What'd you do this week?
We did a lot of work this week. We started the soccer season.
I saw.
Started the soccer season.
So I saw Jonna had an Instagram piece there about the Squirrels getting back after it.
Started the soccer. A couple big victories.
Really? Who did we play?
We took down the Red Stickers.
Okay.
So that was a big one.
Okay.
And so St. Joe's went down. St. Scholastica, is that a school?
Yeah, that sounds right.
They went down. They went down this week, too. So it was a pretty good week for the Parkview Baptist Eagles. Shout out.
We're probably going to have to get you a taller chair.
And
look.
Well, let's just stand and see what that looks like for this first segment.
Okay.
How about that?
That's way better.
So soccer season started. Then we have excited about the cross country state championship on Monday.
Okay.
So we headed up to Natchitoches Sunday night.
Are Macy and Georgie running?
They are.
So this is the first year that the Theriot girls have ever done cross country, right?
Yeah.
They're just like, hey, we run a lot for soccer. Let's go run cross country.
That's what it is.
And just whip everybody.
No, the team is really good.
Okay.
It's a team effort, and it's really neat because it's a couple sets of sisters, the Kramer girls, and then the Terrios. And on the soccer team, you have the Ortliebs, the Terrios, and the Kramer. You have 3 sets of sisters. You got
like the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Johnston girls too. So you have all these sets of sisters on a team, and the
Hatfields and the McCoys were like sworn enemies.
Some pretty good chemistry.
So that's not the Hatfields and the McCoys.
No, this is it. I think it's extremely rare.
Yeah.
To have 4 sets of sisters on one soccer team.
Got it.
And that's
really rare for siblings to go to the same school.
To have 4 sets of siblings on one varsity team.
Very rare.
Yeah.
To have siblings go to the same school.
That just wreck people.
The Wrecking Eagles.
So that's what
Good.
with some work, and then it's cooling off a little bit, so I'm excited about that.
Had some rain.
We had some rain. That was
some
good.
Roof leaks. People calling parish.
Yeah, we had a lot of parish stuff.
Construction and roofing.
That happened a lot.
I'm glad you had a good week. So what else, aside from all that, what's going on in your life?
Well, I was sitting at lunch today.
Were you over at Chris's Specialty Foods eating a lobster roll?
100% outside. I was eating a lobster roll at Chris's outside because it was beautiful.
Outside?
They have outside dining over there. Yeah.
In the front or the back?
In the front. Outside
just
dining.
A few little tables?
Yeah, it's just a nice little touch and feel. Yeah. So I was sitting over at Chris's having lunch, the wonderful lobster roll Friday.
I know you are.
That's so deliciously prepared. Also had a cup of crawfish and corn soup. Fabulous.
Did you go for the hot or the cold lobster roll?
I went hot.
I tell you, I surprised a lot of people last week. When Coben brought them both in, I like the cold better.
Really?
Do you like mayo?
I love mayo.
Oh, you got to try the cold one. I'm telling you, the cold one was better.
Different?
Yeah. Yeah. Prepared different.
Give it a shot.
Okay.
But I looked across the table to my business partner and friend, Richard Tilley, and I said...
Is he having the Monday special?
He had fried fish.
No doubt.
He had the fried fish platter.
With rice. Fries.
No, chips.
Fried fish chips.
Yeah.
Big old tea.
Coke.
No, yeah, of course. Of
like
course
leaded. Like a fully loaded Coke, like a real Coke.
Like Coca-Cola Classic. Take that, Lane Kiffin!
Who drinks that anymore?
Richard Tilley from Parish Construction and Roofing. And he weighs 64 pounds. It's so weird.
Incredible.
How do you eat fried fish, chips, and drink real Coke and weigh like 8 pounds? Weird. Genetics, what a thing.
It is a thing. So I looked over at him and I said, does it feel like to you that football season's over? He said, it kind of does. And it's a shame because I kind of felt the same way. And it was then when I realized I had to take it up a notch.
Okay.
I got my letter this week.
Let's go.
Dear Gainesville.
Yeah.
I got to get back. I gotta get back.
My guy.
You're a town full of booger-eating, incestual, cousin-humping, jean short-wearing mutants.
Mutant.
Woo!
Here he goes.
Nestled perfectly in between 2 of the greatest places on earth, 30A
and
Disney World. That's it. That's Gainesville, a small college town that we call Gainesville. If you love to watch homeless folks defecate themselves downtown, then this is the place for you. Imagine a scaled-down version of Detroit with zero commerce, a population that consists of transient beach bums who've paused their hitchhiking adventures for a few days of awesome meth. That's Gainesville.
You're not wrong.
You take the university out of the picture and Gainesville looks like a scene from a zombie apocalypse. It's Halloween every day when you walk down the streets of Gainesville. That place,
Gainesville.
I mean, it sucks. It really, really, does suck.
It's the worst trip in the SEC.
It is
that and Arkansas.
That in Arkansas. But Arkansas doesn't.
Two worst.
Yeah, Arkansas is pretty bad, but Arkansas doesn't have the crime and the homelessness and all that stuff.
Well, Little Rock does. When they played in when LSU played in Little Rock was the worst. Worst city, worst stadium, worst fans, worst everything. It was the worst. Kick them out of the SEC. Now they play up in Fayetteville, which is a little nicer, but it's still the same awful fans and same awful state and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that place sucks too.
Back to Gainesville.
A university that was once the pride of the great state of Florida has reduced itself to the fourth, maybe the fifth, depending on who you are, most attractive school in the state. Your AD sure has a knack for picking head coaches to lead the biggest sports. He's awesome at it. Basketball is getting the heat at the moment. But baseball and football has had its time in the spotlight over the past few years.
Yeah.
Whether it's taking pictures in the nude with sharks or sending wiener pics to interns, y'all sure know what to look for in the character department when you're hiring head coaches. Attaboy.
Got him.
There's conflicting stories on the O'Sullivan situation from years back, but if nothing else, it has to raise concerns. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the living room when coaches have to explain that to recruits' parents, and it's no wonder that you guys stink.
Stink!
It really doesn't matter what quarterback plays for Florida. At the end of the day, Florida is going to do what Florida is going to do. Similar to Ole Miss, when you have a head coach that learned the ropes from his PlayStation in some dorm room back in the day, you have no choice but to underachieve. Napier needs to go back to the Sun Belt, where his Madden approach can still surprise some folks, and leave the big boy football to the pros.
Madden approach.
Blowout in the swamp is coming. The Tigers are going to get back on track. The improbable will happen. We'll win out. Everybody that's supposed to win is going to win, and the Tigers are coming back. The Nuss bus is getting cranked back up, boys. Go Tigers. Sincerely, Ryan.
It's after further review. I toast some Evermore to you. I toast some Evermore to you for bringing the energy today. Did you just drink some Evermore?
I had to lock myself back in. I'm walking through the office. Andrew looks at me, goes, "Hey, Coach Cricket, what's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I got to lock in."
Got to lock in.
Back.
We're back. All right, Kick Rock's next, AFR.
After further review.
You know who will never tell to Kick Rocks?
Who's that?
Gordon.
Oh, he's getting it done.
You know what they just launched this week? Gordon's bike giveaway.
Oh, I do like the bike giveaway.
Giving away 488 bicycles.
I like the bike.
To kids in Louisiana.
That's good.
For Christmas. So, you want to register? No kiddo, maybe a little less fortunate, like to brighten up their Christmas. You could do it. Go to GordonGives.com. GordonGives.com. Right there on the homepage, you'll see how you can enter. There's a big red button that says Enter Now. You just click that big red button that says Enter Now. You just click that big red button that says Enter Now. And then there's the form right there. You just fill out the form to register to win. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. All over the state of Louisiana. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2025 Ram 1500 truck with $15,000 off MSRP. $15,000 off the newly designed Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
That's how we living. Shiesty, like yanking the offering up out the church. Putting in work, spin game on your boo like when that Hennessy got me hurt. I'm true, taking everything you got.
I thought our guys really delivered in all areas of the game. In the first half, I thought the unselfishness and the ball movement on offense, 13 assists on 17 made baskets. We were really efficient there. But I really thought for 40 minutes we guarded. We guarded at a high level. We were really concerned coming in. K-State was top 10 in the country in transition scoring. At the half, they had 0 points in transition. We wanted to defend the three-point line. We hold them to 5 of 21 there behind the arc. And then I just thought a dominant performance on the glass. Thought our players really competed at a high level and were connected as one, and that's what you want as a coach.
We won? I didn't see it. Okay. I got to lock you in on basketball.
I'm glad you did your letter. I'm glad you did your letter.
I didn't know we won the basketball game. I meant to watch it, but pretty big.
With no awareness that, hey, I'm going to be on a radio show where we talk about sports the next day.
I didn't
Maybe
know.
I should be aware if LSU won the basketball game against Kansas State.
But you know, I love basketball. Like,
I know
that's
you
my
do.
thing.
That's why I didn't even ask you, like, did you watch it? I figured I'd get your opinion on it.
I didn't watch it.
So
tell me about it, though. I want to hear about it.
They went on the road and played Kansas State.
Yeah.
Who I believe is 32-4 the last 3 years at home under their current head coach. And LSU kicked the crap out of Kansas State last night. Took the lead about the 9-minute mark of the first half, never gave it up. There was 1 point in the second half, at about the 9-minute mark of the second half, where Kansas State gets a steal and a transition bucket. The crowd's getting into it, gets the lead down to 10, the LSU lead down to 10. McMahon calls a timeout. Coming out of the timeout, top of the key, boom. Cam Carter, three-pointer straight away, back to 13. They never got it single digits again. LSU annihilated Kansas State on the glass. I'll pull up the box score and tell you what it exactly was. But, man, this was not like, oh, it was a fluky thing. And maybe Kansas State, which replaced like 11 guys off last year's team, and one of their starters, Cam Carter, scored 20 for LSU last night. So maybe there's that. But LSU turned over half its roster as well. They went in the portal and got 3 guards. So you got a whole new backcourt. But I'm going to tell you, man, Damian Collins, the Kentucky transfer, I mean, he's a former top 100 guy from Kentucky. I mean, you're talking about a dude who you have length and rim protection and a guy that can finish around the rim with some authority. You have really good guard play. you're 3 games in. I'm not sitting here trying to say this team is anything more than what they are. But my contention on this team at the start of the year was they will hear their name called on Selection Sunday. And picking them 14th in the conference was one of the most absurd things because, like, last year they finished 500 in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They went and improved their roster. Matt McMahon, coach, he just signed earlier this week the number 4 signing class in the country. Like, they're coming. Like, Matt McMahon had to weather the storm. Like we talked about, I get it was bad, man. Like, what he inherited with the threat of sanctions looming and potential postseason ban and all that, like, they had to give him a 7-year contract so someone would take the job.
Yep.
Because of all the uncertainty. And year 1 sucked. It was a punt. I've said this 1,000 times. You couldn't do anything that year. 2 weeks into being hired, they had 0 scholarship players. Remember that? Like, everybody was either draft or portal or whatever. Like, 2 weeks in, they had no players. Literally 0 scholarship players. The first year sucked. Last year, when 500 in the league got into the NIT, this year, you should hear your name called on Selection Sunday. And they went on the road against a good Kansas State team. We'll see how good Kansas State is. But either way, that's been a good team. And they pummeled it, man. I mean, Corey Chess went out there. Corey Chess played 3 minutes the whole season. Well, the whole season. It was 2 games old. Grabbed 13 rebounds yesterday off the bench. Like, oh, here's the box score. The LSU out-rebounded them. It's like 43-25 or something. Load, idiot. Load, idiot. Mad at. Okay, I nailed it. 43-25. 43-25. Kansas State had 8 offensive rebounds in the game. Incredible, bro. Incredible. Great win. Matt McMahon's going to be here in an hour and 10 minutes. Excited to talk to him. And Victorious Miller, by the way, great name.
That's...
What?
Is that Master P's somebody?
I think so. I think that's Master P's son.
It's Silk the Shocker's son.
Silk the Shocker's son. Yeah. And Silk the Shocker is Master P's brother?
Close enough. But Silk the Shocker.
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a no-limit soldier.
So,
okay? I thought I told you.
Let me just tell you.
He's a no-limit soldier. I thought I told you.
I got it. Victorious Miller is an NBA player.
Is he really?
He is an NBA player.
Does Silk go to the games?
I don't know. I'm just telling you, Victorious Miller is an NBA player. Like that, you go, okay, yeah, that's an NBA guy. I'm not telling you he's going to be one and done, but I'm telling you he's an NBA player. The same way I sat here and told y'all Naz Reid was an NBA player, was awesome, and y'all like, oh, Naz Reid should have stayed, blah, blah, blah. Like, no. When you're 6'10" with soft hands and good feet, like God didn't make many of them.
No.
The NBA loves guys like that. And Naz Reid has been awesome. NBA Sixth Man of the Year last year, and he's making a pile of money and going to be in the NBA for a long time. That dude is an NBA player.
Is the guy that looks like a linebacker still on the team?
No.
What was his name?
You know
what I'm talking about. I liked him. He played hard. He gave it his all. I mean, he was playing the wrong sport, but he gave it his all. The little guard that was jacked.
Oh, we're thinking about somebody different.
The little guard that was jacked and he would just drive every time and bully people around. He was awesome. I mean, it looked like a middle school game when he was in there, but he would get buckets. He did. It wasn't pretty basketball, but he made it happen.
We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. More than 30 offices across a dozen different states. Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli. Go to Michelli.com. At Michelli, they like to say, we show the world what measurement can do. And earlier this week, Michelli welcomed to the Michelli family the American Scale Company, new partners with Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Our nation's largest distributor of scales. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. If you weigh or measure something, or you need your precision measurement equipment calibrated, they can help. They can even do on-site calibration with their mobile calibration labs. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Michelli.com. All right, if you don't call Michelli, you can kick rocks. You can kick rocks.
It's time to kick rocks with Ryan Theriot.
Kick rocks.
Presented by Ruckus. Kick rocks with shoes from Ruckus. Jones Creek Road in Baton Rouge, or go to ruckus103.com.
Tom Brady can kick rocks. That's a standing kick rocks, but this one's
a perpetual kick rock.
Kick rocks.
Did you prepare?
Yeah. Okay, you can kick rocks for being a middle midget.
Kick rocks.
Costing your team 4 points.
They can kick a whole bag of rocks for that.
Get on down the road and kick rocks.
Michigan Wolverines can kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
The ship has sailed. The guy wears a chain around his neck that says LSU on it.
That was a diamond-encrusted tiger head is what it was.
Comes down to every game, it seems like. And his girlfriend, I'm assuming it was his girlfriend, but she was wearing purple and gold as they were walking around. Stop throwing money. Kid can't be bought, okay? And that's too much money anyway. It's ridiculous.
You were thinking about Trey Hannibal.
Yeah, Trey Hannibal. Remember that guy?
From South Carolina.
Played his butt off. He played hard, bro.
6'2", 221.
You put the pads on Trey Hannibal, watch out. I bet you he was a hell of a linebacker. Would have been a hell of a linebacker. But Michigan can kick rocks. Leave our guy alone.
Rock.
Leave him alone. He's coming here. At least I hope he comes here.
I thought you were talking about KJ Williams from Murray State. Trey Hannibal's who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good with Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood's coming out.
I heard this stat from
Hey. Bryce Underwood's coming to LSU.
Yeah, I hope so.
No. Hey.
He's here. I heard this stat from my business partner in T3. Shout out T3 Industrial Solutions. Trent Davis.
Shout out. Also Paris Construction and Roofing partner.
That's right. Shout out.
Come on now.
Golf tournament and clay shoot tournament extraordinaire, Trent Davis. I didn't know that about him.
Okay.
Very talented guy. That there's 2 universities, Division I, that pass the ball less than Michigan.
There's 4.
4.
So Trent's wrong. You should talk to me.
Okay.
Because Trent probably heard it listening to this show and then got it wrong. There's 4.
4. Who are they?
And 2 of them are service academies.
Yeah.
That's probably what he was.
That's where, yeah, he's a service academy.
So thanks for listening, Trent. Let's get the
Give it to
stats
me.
right. It's 4 teams, but 2 of the 4 are service academies. So Michigan is the 5th worst passing offense in college football.
Yeah, he's not going there, huh?
No, he's
coming here.
Bryce Underwood's going to LSU.
He's going to play quarterback next year.
I don't know. That really depends on Nuss.
Hopefully.
And if Nuss comes back or if Nuss goes pro or whatever.
Mike Tyson can kick rocks.
Oh!
Kick rocks.
Yeah, man. And this is coming from a big Tyson guy. I had the.
You going to watch tonight?
Yes. You've seen I've got the autographed Tyson glove and the picture and the Iron Mike T-shirt with the video game framed on it. Like, I'm a big fan. He's too old. He's risking injury. He's going to hurt himself. I don't think he needs to do this.
All right, I have a question.
Okay.
You going to watch tonight?
Yes.
Okay. How can you tell him to kick rocks if you're going to watch the damn fight?
I don't want him to get hurt. I'm watching to make sure he doesn't get hurt.
You watching has nothing to do with him getting hurt.
It's the reason why I watched the election the other night till 3 a.m. Make sure they didn't cheat. I'm watching to make sure he doesn't get hurt. Can't let him get hurt. Take care of my guy.
You're not taking care of anything. By the way, Mike Tyson is a convicted rapist, lest we forget. It is an amazing, and people are like, how could you say, no, Mike Tyson is a convicted rapist. He is a convicted felon who raped a woman, went to prison, got out. Anyway, it's an amazing comeback story.
He's not the villain in this fight.
Mike Tyson, people love him now, even though he raped a woman and got a face tat. Like, went to federal prison, got a face tat. Then he got a tiger and punched a guy on The Hangover and played the piano, and now everybody loves him. Crazy.
It's unbelievable. I'd like to give a hug.
I'm gonna watch too, though. Do you think who do you think wins, Paul or Tyson?
I think Jake Paul's going to beat him.
Yeah, of course he is. He's 28 years old. Tyson's 60.
And Jake Paul's a big boy. And
what are we doing?
And like he's pretty good at this. Like, he trains for this.
Pretty good. He's good. He's a good boxer. Not great.
I mean,
but when he faces, YouTubers and other 60-year-olds, yeah, he's pretty good. He'll fight like a real boxer in their prime. He'll get his ass kicked. Good weekend, though. We've got John Jones and Stipe Miocic tomorrow as well.
Is this John Jones' first fight back since an injury, or he's fought a couple times?
I saw John Jones fight last year in when he won the heavyweight belt. That was last. Has that been 2?
How's he doing? He's good. He's staying.
Year and a half.
Staying.
It was like February, March.
He's not getting staying out of trouble, John Jones.
For the most part, at least that we know of.
Boy, talented. Ooh, Lord.
He'll screw it up again.
Tyreek Hill can have a hug. He needs surgery.
Yep.
Say he's not going to have surgery. He's
Not
playing through it. In a day and age where these athletes, these guys.
A day and age where these athletes.
They don't play through injuries or pain anymore.
Boy, that's.
But Tyreek is doing it, and he's doing it for the team. And I want to give him a hug for doing just that, for being a tough guy, Tyreek.
Okay.
Cheetah, attaboy.
The cheetah.
That's it.
I'll tell you what. You going in on Mike Tyson is just wrong.
And
you're going to watch the fight.
I'm going to watch it. Make sure he doesn't get hurt.
Oh, I'm watching tonight for sure.
What time do you think the fight is going to happen? I don't know if I'll be able to stay up.
I don't know, man.
It's going to be late.
We should be able to find that. I think there's 4 fights on the undercard, maybe. I think I was looking at that earlier today on the sports book. So I could be wrong on that number. 10.
You got any
11.
action? You got any action on this fight?
No. I mean, the very sensible play is Jake Paul. I mean, he's 28 years old. He's fighting a man that's almost 60 and hasn't fought, in a real fight in 20 years
that we know of.
No, like a sanctioned bout. I mean, so yeah, Jake Paul should win this fight. I'd be stunned if he didn't. But it's still Mike Tyson, so people are going to watch because it's Mike Tyson. And as great a champion as Mike was, the aura and legend of Mike Tyson has never faded.
No.
And so what I don't like about it is I don't want to see 60-year-old Mike Tyson and have that sort of change in any way my impression of Mike Tyson in his prime, which I was fortunate enough to see, and Mike Tyson go out of his prime as well, and hang around too long and lose fights to nobodies at the end of his career. And I mean, this is the definition of a puncher's chance fight, right? That's what this is. This is the definition of a puncher's chance, where Mike catches him, it could go 9-9. But 3-minute rounds, because you got a 60-year-old man. Yeah, dog. I don't think it's going to go super great for Iron Mike tonight.
I hate that. I hate to hear that.
But I'm going to watch it. And they'll put on a show. Like when Conor McGregor fought Mayweather. They put on it like Floyd. Floyd kept him in it, for a few rounds. And Conor had a few flurries. And, there was one point in that fight, too, where, if I'm remembering this, when I'm remembering this correctly, where Floyd hit the right button on Conor and kind of held him up. Conor kind of went night, and Floyd kind of held him up, let him kind of regain his faculties, so he came back to, so they could continue. I mean, they're trying to give the people a show.
Is that what's going to happen here, you think?
A little bit of that.
I hope that doesn't happen.
This is a glorified exhibition, man. That's what this is. Bro, Mike Tyson, dude, he went and slapped that dude yesterday.
He did.
Of course they're selling and then what was the headline all over ESPN? Mike Tyson slaps Jake Paul in the stair. Of course he did. They're selling fights, man.
But he looked pretty good, Mike.
He looks great.
He looks good.
58 years old, dude.
Yeah.
He looks awesome. Weed's changed his life. Cannabis has changed his life.
Mm-hmm.
See him on Rogan?
I did.
All he did was sit there and eat mushrooms the whole damn show. I mean, like a 3-hour show, and Mike Tyson just never stopped eating shrooms the whole time. It was crazy. He just lives in an altered state.
I hope he's not in the altered state for the fight.
Oh, that's what's going to help him. Oh, it's going to help him. All right, it's after further review. Is Derek Carr going to be out of New Orleans next year? I'm just saying there's someone who proposed the idea today. We'll talk about it next. AFR.
After further review.
Brought to you by Glow Resources, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions. If you are an employer Moving into 2025, you're putting budgets together. You're looking at different departments in your business. You need the right people to help make you more efficient. You need Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com. Check them out online. Remember, their corporate headquarters are right here in Baton Rouge on Perkins Road. Gorgeous facility, too, by the way. But they have offices all over the country, and they help place people in jobs, businesses all over the world, as a matter of fact. Hey, look, they have a 96% success rate. So they hire someone for your business. They have a 96% success rate. If for whatever reason it doesn't work, they will give you a prorated refund, or they will find a new employee for free. What do you got to lose? Nothing. It's Glow Resources. Check them out online. GLO, glowresources.com.
Let's talk turkey. Bayou Ford can get you in a new 2024 Ford F-150 with $15,000 off MSRP. $15,000 off America's favorite F-150 truck. All new Bayou automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
I got the ghetto sold up like McDonald's and Wendy's, and I got more sales than J.C. Penney's. Throw it up if you a soldier.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Ruckus. Kick Rocks, brought to you by Ruckus, ruckus103.com. They got some new Jordans that are dropping tomorrow. Did you see that?
The black, was it Force?
The Jordan 4 Blacks, yeah.
Black Force.
RUKUS103.com, ruckus103.com. You can always shop online, order online. Check them out on social media as well. Look, if you go to ruckus103.com and scroll down on the homepage, there's the ones that I'm wearing right now. The orange and black Dunks. Those are great. I'm wearing them right now. Here's the Jordan 4s. The Retro 4 Fears. There they are right there. I think... Oh, yeah, there's the countdown, 18 hours. So tomorrow is when the drop begins. You go get in line at ruckus103.com or pop on into the store right there on Jones Creek in Baton Rouge. Ruckus103.com. We appreciate our friends over at Ruckus. They're awesome, man. Been great partners of ours, awesome people. Get your kicks over at Ruckus. We'll do Ask Ryan coming up here in about 10 minutes from right now. You get your questions in, email us, tweet us, text us. in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. The Saints are going to play this weekend. Obviously, the Cleveland Browns are coming in. Saints trying to make it 2 in a row after they bounced back from their 7-game losing streak. First game under Darren Rizzi. What'd you think of? Did you watch any of it last Sunday?
I did.
I don't believe you.
No, I did.
Okay.
I did watch.
What'd you think?
I mean, I don't know where that team's been all year. Thought they played inspired, like you said. They probably would have that, interim push or kick,
bump,
or whatever, interim bump. They played inspired, were flying all over the place. I mean, they did. They looked like a team that wanted to play football. And the flip side of that, the guys on the other side of the ball did not look like a team that they really wanted to play football. And it always starts with the quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
No, man.
The Falcons outgained the
Kirk
Saints.
Cousins,
they doubled them up in rushing total. They were good. The Saints, Younghoe Koo missed 2 field goals, and Saints blocked another one. Saints made some plays late. Tyron got the pick. Chase Young got the strip sack. It was one of those games where you look up and you go, how did we lose? That's what Atlanta's doing. That's what the Saints did for the bulk of the season. The Saints are still flawed. They're not a very good team, and we'll see how it goes. I don't know that they have 3 more wins the rest of the way, but this is one they can get with Cleveland coming in.
They can beat Cleveland.
So there's a piece up at ESPN.com. Dan Graziano is looking at free agents for 2025, and he mentions Derek Carr. Now, the point that I've made pretty consistently about Derek Carr is because of his contract, when the Saints restructured Derek Carr's deal, it made him, you are financially bound to Derek Carr for next year. So, for example, in 2025, Derek Carr's cap hit is $51 million, and I believe the dead number is $50 million. So either way, you are financially bound to Derek Carr next year, no matter what. So he's got $10 million fully guaranteed roster bonus for next year, and a clause that guarantees his $30 million in 2025 salary if he's on the roster the third day of the league year, so this spring. So essentially, if the Saints are going to move on from Derek Carr, they'll know it early. The problem with, they're going to give him $10 million no matter what.
Right.
He'd have an even bigger number if it's the third day of the league year. So there's no post-June 1 release here. They would know early. But the question is, do you just let him walk, you cut him, you seek a new quarterback, you take the big dead cap hit, or you draft a quarterback and you move on with your young player? I don't know, man. It's Dan Graziano presenting it, so it's a guy that's very well connected in the NFL. He's an ESPN NFL reporter, and y'all know how I feel about it. I mean, Derek Carr just isn't a winner. I mean, this isn't my opinion. I mean, he's been the quarterback of 2 winning teams in a decade in the NFL. And one of them was last year when they were 9-8, and they only got there because they won 4 of their last 5, and none of those games came against a team that finished with a winning record. Derek Carr is just not a winner. I'm not just trashing Derek Carr. He's a good, serviceable NFL starting quarterback. You're just never going to win anything of significance with him. So you identify it now. If you're moving on as an organization, you do it. I would look at it this way and say, would you rather have Derek Carr draft your franchise quarterback this year, let him sit for a year behind Derek Carr while you're paying him $50 million against cap anyway? You might as well have him on the roster. Or do you cut Carr, draft your franchise, and let whoever that is take their lumps in 2025 and hope you keep getting better?
You're paying the entire, you take the entire cap hit, even if you cut him?
Yeah, because I believe it's the dead cap number next year is $51 million. So either way, that money's counting against your cap, whether he's there or not.
Does that cycle off the following year?
I'd have to get the full details of the contract.
That's a bad deal.
Well, yeah, that's a bad deal.
Ooh.
I mean, that was the whole point all along.
Yeah.
It's why I didn't want them to restructure his contract last year, and I understand that they were going to do it and why they were going to do it. So for 2025, his dead cap number is $50 million. For 2026, the dead cap number is $28 million. And in 2027, it's 17, then 5. So he's going to be on your books in some capacity through 2028. But the problem is, so you look at 2025, for example, the cap hits 51, the dead number is 50. So it's what and what. You look to 2026, the dead number is 28, the cap hits 61. So Derek Carr is not on this team in 2026, period. Like, if you did, you'd have to redo a whole new contract, and they're not going to do that because he stinks and he's 34 years old. So, or 32, whatever he is, doesn't matter, he stinks. So he's 33 right now. So the point is, you got one more year financially bound to Derek Carr. Like, he'll be on the roster, I think, next year. But Graziano's saying maybe they just eat the $50 million and cut him anyway and move on to the next quarterback. Personally, I would say keep him around so you have a veteran and you're not forced to play the young guy. Because we see so many young quarterbacks get wrecked because they play so early, their confidence is shaken, and they don't come back from it.
Yeah. Now you're seeing it. You're seeing it right now, and I'm not saying that this would happen with every quarterback, but in Indianapolis, where it's just play a couple games, sit a couple games, play a couple games, sit a couple games, and that's not the best scenario for young. But the flip side of that, you take a guy like Peyton Manning that you throw in the fire and you stink for a year, and then you start to figure it out and get better and better. I say
that was Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I say you cut bait and get the guy in. If you want to go sign a veteran that can come in and go get the redheaded guy. What's his name?
Andy Dalton?
Yeah, go get him.
You already had him.
Yeah, but he's not going to play. You're just bringing him to be a mentor, a coach. I don't know how Derek Carr is in the locker room. I think that's more important than what he does on the field, because whoever you sign is going to be a better quarterback than this guy. This guy's horrible.
I don't know that I'd say whoever you sign is going to be better. Not immediately. I mean, if you're talking about a veteran, you're talking about drafting a rookie.
Just go. If you get the best quarterback in the draft, he's going to be better. I mean, who's the best guy coming out of college right now?
I mean, Shadur Sanders, Cam Ward, Nussmeier, Carson Beck. I mean, that's Quinn Ewers. I mean, that's the kind of player that people are talking about at the top of the draft. So Jackson Dart. I mean, I don't know who it's going to end up being.
I like Cam Ward.
Yeah, look, he's small. That's one knock against him. But I mean, I'm not saying, look, long-term, any of those guys could have a higher ceiling, because we know in year 11 what Derek Carr's ceiling is. Just a mid-level quarterback. That's what he is. He's a mid-level starting quarterback. You draft one of those guys, it could be a kaboom. Or you could draft Zach Wilson and have a total bust. So, but you don't know. But I'm for it, man. I'm for drafting a guy you think could be your franchise. Anyway, interesting take there from Dan Graziano. We will talk some Saints-Browns in the next hour. We'll get to our pick'em here in about 15 minutes. We've not got our final break of the hour. Come back. We'll do a little Ask Ryan. Get your questions in for Theriot. You can ask him anything about anything. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics, servicing the petrochemical and refinery markets for 42 years now, since 1982. It's Action Industries, online at actionindinc.com, actionindinc.com. You can check them out there. Remember, over at Action Industries, they've got fabrication shop services on top of the turnaround division that they have that we talk about all the time. Pipe, structural steel. They fabricate pressure vessels as well. They are an ASME certified vessel manufacturer. And by the way, ASME, you know this issues 3 stamps. They have all of them. R, S, and U. They got them all over at Action Industries. They do food-grade fabrication. Sometimes you may need additional resources on those mega projects. If you have those going on and you're just struggling to keep up with that workforce, that skilled labor workforce, well, Action Industries can help supplement your mega project. So give them a shout. It's Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. We'll get to Ask Ryan. Get your questions in. You can ask Theriot anything about anything. You can email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Hour 3 next.
AFR.
Brought to you by First South Farm Credit. Thinking of buying land?
Yes.
You're always thinking about buying land.
I am.
You know, land could be a great investment property. Timberland could be a piece of timber property. Talk to your CPA.
Yeah, what if you bought a piece of land and you found treasure on it too? I mean, think about that for a minute.
Oh, now you're talking.
Like buried treasure.
What if you bought some land and it was like the Clampets and you had oil and you became a billionaire?
From First South.
It's
They
all-
know where all the oil and treasure is. That's where you should buy your land.
It's all thanks to First South Farm Credit. That's why your first call should be to First South Farm Credit.
First South Farm Credit.
Yeah.
Go call them and go get some buried treasure.
Get some buried treasure. What if you have like a hunting lease that you share with somebody?
Okay.
And you're like, I don't want to share this with people.
That's a thing.
I want my own.
And I want some buried treasure.
Get a hunting lease with buried treasure.
That's your own.
That's yours.
You don't have to share it with anybody. First South does that.
FirstSouthLand.com. FirstSouthLand.com.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Bills tight end Dalton Kincaid is out for Sunday's big game against the Chiefs with a left knee injury. Buffalo wideout Keon Coleman was already ruled out for that game. Texans wideout Nico Collins says he'll play against the Cowboys Monday night. He missed the last 5 games with a hamstring injury. Crucial SEC matchup tomorrow night for 12th-ranked Georgia and number 7 Tennessee. The Bulldogs back home after losing their second game of the season last week. ESPN's Holly Rowe.
Kirby's really good at motivating his team, but he is also a Nick Saban disciple. And by that, I mean it is the process, the process, the process. And, you know, he is one of those that is, we have to quickly turn our attention off a devastating loss at Ole Miss.
Holly Rowe on Greeny talking about Georgia coach Kirby Smart. Tennessee at Georgia tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Dodgers right-hander Brusdar Graterol will miss the first half of next season after labrum surgery on his right shoulder. Graterol appeared in 3 World Series games for the champion Dodgers.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Commercial Insurance. It flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock! You can't handle the
Riot Radio Hour.
Let's do that again.
Guess who's back?
I want some more.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Well, let's start the insanity. Giddy up.
With Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot.
Let me find out your ass spanks that had your gut. Let me find out your stomach bigger than your butt.
Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt. Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill. They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name. You sure? We're here, glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time, glad you are driving home with us. Yeah, bruh.
Yo, bruh.
Matt McMahon in 30 minutes, 28 minutes from right now, 27 minutes from right now to be exact. Straight up 5:30, bottom of this hour. We'll talk to the head coach of the men's basketball team. Got a big win. I'll give you a Saints-Browns preview and prediction here in about 15 minutes from right now. We do this every Friday. It's our pick 'em. We used to have a guest picker, but Theriot got lazy, so we don't do that anymore. He and I just go head-to-head. Hit us with a little music there, Muse, if you would. Hard to believe, man. Only 2 more weeks of the regular season after this. And then conference championship weekend. So 3 if you include that, but full weekends.
It's flown by.
Only 3 left. I can tell you this. I don't know what, as Paulie pulls up our standings, what it's going to be, but your boy had a brutal week and some bad beats. I went on a limb with Utah against BYU, and I had that thing won, and the refs stole it. I went Oklahoma against Mizzou, had that thing won, and they let it get away at the end. So I took some chances last week, and it did not go well for your boy. So let's see how it all went, Paulie. Last week I was 3-7. You were 6-4. brutal week last week. Worst week of the year for your boy. So I'm at 58-37. Theriot's 63-32. So you got 5 games on me now with 3 weeks to go. I got some ground to make up. And I don't know that it's going to happen this weekend because they ain't no good games. I think everybody's picking the same way on everything. We'll see how it goes. All right. Let's get started.
Let's do it.
Texas at Arkansas.
Texas.
You know, we do this thing with Phil Steele all the time, and he points out how Sam Pittman's such a great underdog, and he has been as a coach at Arkansas, a great underdog. And this might be a spot where Arkansas can rise up. Did they have a bye last week? Did Arkansas have a bye? Who did they play last week? Remember?
They run by. You're right. They run by.
So coming off a bye, last time they were coming off a bye, LSU shellacked them in Fayetteville. This game is in Fayetteville. I mean, I'd love to think Arkansas could step up and do something here. I just don't believe it's going to happen.
No.
So I'll take Texas to win.
Yeah.
You have to text while we're on air.
I'm not texting.
You do all the time.
I'm not texting.
You just turn your phone over and put it over there.
Put it right
just while we're in the segment. Thank you. Man.
It's right there.
All right. Utah at Colorado. Okay. What you thinking over there? Huh, Papa?
Huh.
I don't think you're thinking anything. You're not thinking anything. Make your pick. Show ends at 6.
Give me Utah.
Are you just trying to give me a game? Is that what you're doing? You're trying to give me back a game? All right. I'll take your charity, and I'll take Colorado. Colorado's at home. Huge emotional letdown spot for Utah. That's why I loved them last week. Rivalry game at home. They're better than their record showed. They went all out, and I'll tell you, did you watch any of that?
I did.
Dog.
The end was awesome.
I mean, I had money on Utah as well. Like, I was in on Utah last week. I mean, that was a...
You're mad at him, I know.
That is snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. I had him in our pick'em here. I had money on it. I had him in our station pick. I had Utah across the board. Screw Utah. You're no Coke drinking behinds. All right, Clemson at Pitt.
Give me Clemson.
Bro, I don't think Clemson's any good. I mean, I'm going to take them here because I don't think Pitt's very good either. But Clemson went on that. They got blown out by Georgia. They went on that long win streak. They finally played another good team, and they got blown out again by Louisville on their home field. Like, I don't think Clemson can beat good teams. I just know that Pitt's a good team. So I'll take Clemson, but whatever. All right, Tulane at Navy.
Isn't Navy good this year? Is Navy good?
They're both Navy. I think they're both 7-2.
Yeah. Give me Navy.
All right, I'll go Tulane.
Yeah.
They're both good. I think Tulane's better. Tulane's been good this year.
Yeah. Does Navy run a weird offense?
They did under Ken Niumatalolo, but yes, they still do. Yeah. Army's the one that's changed a bit more. Where you will see them Army throw it a little bit more than
Army's
Navy.
Undefeated, huh?
Yes. They got to play Notre Dame. So they're probably not going to finish undefeated. But what would be fascinating, because here we were talking about this scenario the other day. If Army and Boise State both went out, that means they would both win their leagues as well. There's a scenario where the Big 12 champion could be left out of the playoff because the guaranteed spots are the 5 highest ranked conference champions. So there's a chance undefeated Army and then or 12-1 Boise State, whose only loss was in week 1, close loss at Oregon. They could both be ranked higher than whoever the Big 12 champion is. So there's a weird scenario where the Big 12 champion could be out. Now, I don't think Army's going to beat Notre Dame, but we'll get there when we get there. Okay, Missouri at South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Gamecocks are playing good football, man. That defensive front for South Carolina is
They're good.
Really good.
I like the quarterback.
And Drew Pine stinks. This game's in Columbia. I'll take every bit of South Carolina in that game. Lenore Sellers playing. You know what? I'll say this. Lenore Sellers still can't throw the football. But what they've figured out is how best to use him. And he's playing more within himself. If, as his career goes along, he develops more as a vertical passer, I think they could be really, really good. Nebraska at Southern Cal. This is a tricky one. What do you think?
Give me Nebraska.
Why are you going Nebraska?
I don't like Southern Cal.
I mean, SC's been close since I got to go opposite. If I'm on the fence, I got to go opposite you. So I'm going to go opposite you and go SC. But I don't feel great about that pick. SC's been close in some games. They just keep losing all the close games. So, like, there's something to be said for that, right? Like, you keep losing close games. You just don't know how to win games.
That's right.
But I'll go SC in that one at home. All right, Oregon at Wisconsin.
Oregon.
Yeah. Night game, Camp Randall. It was interesting. Phil Steele was here in hour one. He liked Wisconsin in the points. Talked about, like, the average game grade in the last 3 weeks. Said he would have had this line somewhere on, like, did we say 3? Something like that. Is that what he said?
Yep. He
Like
said,
3?
no, I'm sorry. He said 5. 5 was his line.
In the last 3. But they said, like, in the last 3 weeks, it would have been, like, 3.
Yeah, but isn't it 13? I thought he said 5, but it's 13, right? So, I mean.
Right. But he said if you just look at the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
The average game grade for the last 3 weeks, he said it would have been like 3.
3.
Yeah.
5 was for the season, if you looked like at the season.
Maybe something like that. So anyway, maybe a play in Wisconsin in the points. I think I will play Wisconsin in the points in that game, but I like Oregon to win it. I'm with you. All right, Tennessee at Georgia.
Give me Georgia. Well, I thought the Tennessee quarterback was going to be better.
Well, Georgia. So thinking about quarterbacks that you thought would be better.
Yeah.
Carson Beck is a turnover machine.
He's not that good.
And Tennessee's defensive front is awesome. Do you realize Tennessee has not allowed any opponent to score 20 points yet this year? Nobody has scored 20 on them this year. The game they lost to Arkansas, it was 19 to 15, 19 to whatever it was. It's crazy. Like, Tennessee's defense is great. And Georgia, their quarterback turns the ball over all the time.
He does.
I just don't know that Tennessee can go there and score. Yeah. I'll pick Georgia at home. Like, that line opened 13. It's bet all the way down to 9.5. I don't know why it was ever at 13. That's crazy to me. But sometimes the stinky line, maybe that's one of the ones, and you lean in Georgia. Maybe Georgia wins it big. We're both on Georgia, but I don't know, bro. That's a oof. Kansas at BYU.
BYU is going to win this one.
So BYU is a 2.5-point favorite over a 3-win Kansas team. That's your stinky line of the week, Fred. Right, BYU's going to lose. I picked them to lose last week, and they were right there. Not going against them 2 weeks in a row. I'll take BYU. All right, LSU in Florida.
Give me the Tigers.
Right. Tigers all around. I hate that we all picked everybody in this entire station picked LSU to beat Alabama last week. I get embarrassed 42-13. I'll give you my full Florida LSU pick a bit later, but yeah, man. Florida's 8 starters out. I mean, it's not good for Florida. If LSU can't go win, they got some problems. They got some problems to begin with. Real problems. All right, we're brought to you by Optimize, GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. You need a generator? You do need a generator.
No, I got one.
Oh, you got one.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
You have?
I love it.
I can't imagine living in Louisiana and not having a generator.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't have one before.
Same.
Yeah.
For us, our breaking point was Ida because we were out of power for like 7 or 8 days. And that's when I was going to L.A. for the LSU-UCLA game, and Erica was here with Drew. So she had to go stay at her parents' house. Like, she had to pack up everything, all of Drew's medicines, everything, to go stay at her parents' house because we didn't have power. And I was like, yeah, we're never doing this again. Mm-mm. So that's when we got a generator. It's the best decision you can make. I mean, and at Optimize, there's 3 reasons primarily why you call Optimize. Number 1, turnkey. Everything's turnkey. They handle the permitting. They deal with your electric company, everything. Everything's turnkey. Number 2 is the price quote guarantee. The price they quote you is it. You're never going to get change orders. You're not going to get fees unexpectedly. Like the price they quote you is it. That's the price. And then number 3, they have financing to fit any budget. So for a $600 down payment, they can finance your purchase to match your budget so you stay in control of your finances. It's optimized. You need a generator? You call it Generator People. GeneratorPeople.com. GeneratorPeople.com. All right, you got to go?
Yep.
All right, Theriot's leaving. Matt McMahon's coming up in about 15 minutes. You want me to tell him hi for you?
Yeah, tell him I said what's up, and I apologize I didn't get to watch the game last night. But I'm a big fan.
Bro.
We got a good team, huh?
I picked this to be a tournament team. I did not think they were going to win the game yesterday. They were 7.5-point dog at Kansas State. I did not think they were going to win. They didn't just win, dog. Like, they beat up Kansas State. That's like big brother pinning down little brother and just, like, slapping him in the face. That's what that was last night. Not close.
Who's next?
Charleston Southern. Is that right? Charleston Southern? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I need to lock in. Since football season's over, I need to lock in on this.
For 3 more games. Don't you give up on football yet. God, if LSU goes to Atlanta.
For what?
SEC championship game.
To watch?
Have you not heard the scenario?
Yeah. But, I mean, come on.
Dog. Win 3 games where you're favored. Have Georgia beat Tennessee this weekend? All you need then is for Arkansas to beat Missouri. And you're there. It's like, not only is it not far-fetched, it's super likely. All right, we got to go to break. Thanks, Terry. We'll see you.
See you.
AFR.
What a dismount. We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Hey, you know what they're doing over at Rouse's right now?
They're giving away turkeys.
They are. Buy a ham.
Get a turkey.
Get a turkey.
Free.
Buy that Hormel Cure 81 spiral sliced ham, $2.99 a pound, and get a free Butterball frozen turkey up to 14 pounds. $25 in-store purchase. Limit 1 per customer. Get the details at Rouses.com. Rouses.com. Bro, Thanksgiving is 2 weeks from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We're less than 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving.
Right there, man.
You better start thinking about Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving dinner and getting your turkey and all that stuff ready. And Rouse's is taking care of everything.
They do it for you.
Buy a ham, get a turkey.
Give it to you for free.
Why wouldn't you do this?
You would.
You would. Who wouldn't? Everybody would. It's Rouse's. Going to be having a home gate this weekend watching LSU in Florida or the Saints and the Browns? Get all your stuff at Rouse's. Rouse's.com. Rouse's. This feels like home.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Join us at Pro Dreams in Mandeville for our special event, A Day of Champions. Meet LSU National Championship winning head coaches Jay Johnson, Skip Bertman, and Paul Maneri. Don't miss your chance to purchase authentic sports memorabilia, autographed by the champions themselves. It's the perfect opportunity to celebrate LSU baseball and take home a piece of history. Visit pro-dreams.com to get your tickets. See you there.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2025 Ram 1500 truck with $15,000 off MSRP. $15,000 off the newly designed Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, Our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Matt McMahon's with us here in 10 minutes. Great win for the basketball Tigers on Thursday night up in Manhattan, Kansas. I'll give you my final LSU-Florida prediction coming up at the end of the show here today. Theriot had to scoot. So let me get you a Saints-Browns final preview and prediction here. Saints-Browns, game 2 of the Darren Rizzi era. Some good news for the Hoodats. Eric McCoy will be back. Really a lot of respect for Eric McCoy amid a lost season. I mean, this is the definition of being a pro, right? Amid a lost season, the guy has a groin injury, and his targeted date to get back had been after the bye with the Rams coming in, and he worked so hard to accelerate that timeline to be back this week against Cleveland. It would have been very easy to say, hey, take it slow, give yourself 2 more weeks because you'll have your bye, and then come back ready to roll for the home stretch after the Rams game. But here he is, back for this game against the Cleveland Browns. This is a really tough spot because you've got 2 teams that are not very good. The Browns are 2-7. The Saints are 3-7. The Browns were just miserable under Deshaun Watson. He suffered that unfortunate Achilles injury. Now Jameis Winston is starting. You well know that. The Saints have had their barrage of injuries, but they're starting to get healthy again. But in some respects, the Saints still are kind of what they are. They're an aging veteran defense. Even with the Saints winning last week against Atlanta, it's hard to ignore the fact that you still were outgained by 100 yards. They doubled up your rushing total. You've not been very good against the run, and now Nick Chubb is coming back healthier for the Cleveland Browns. If there's one thing that I would tell you that maybe leans toward the New Orleans Saints in this game, aside from the Saints being at home and just some good vibes and good energy with Darren Rizzi being there in that interim role, you look at the turnover differential. The Cleveland Browns on the season are -7. The Saints are +4. It's one of the things the Saints have done well is they take the ball away. That's kind of been a key part of this team ever since Dennis Allen's been there. They've been very good at taking the ball away. I do think it's going to be very interesting this week to watch rookie left tackle Taliesin Fuanga because this will be by far the biggest test of his rookie season. Fuanga is going to go head-to-head with Myles Garrett, former NFL Defensive Player of the Year. So, I mean, you have this guy that's the reigning Defensive Player of the Year going against your rookie left tackle who's 22 years old and a quarterback in Derek Carr that has happy feet and doesn't necessarily like to be hit. I'm not saying Derek Carr is not tough, but one thing that is pretty consistent with Carr, and you've heard players and executives talk about this both on and off the record, is he'll get happy feet. He'll throw off his back foot. Sean Salisbury's talked about it a good bit. And if you start to get pressure from that Cleveland defensive front, they traded Zadarius Smith, but still Myles Garrett over there is a problem, and we'll see how Fuanga matches up. So, look, I love the fact that the Saints, as far as the turnover margin, have an edge here. Jameis Winston, we know, has a propensity to turn the football over. While, yes, the Saints know Jameis well. Remember, Joe Woods came from Cleveland as well, so Kevin Stefanski has certainly a lot of awareness of Joe Woods from their time together. I just also look at this as Cleveland coming off their bye. having an extra week to get healthy, an extra week to prepare, while New Orleans is getting healthier. The Saints may be in a better spot to maybe steal one in a week from Sunday or 2 weeks from Sunday when they're coming off their bye and the Rams coming in, even though I think the Rams are a better football team. I'm setting you up for a letdown here because I think, unfortunately, the interim bump you got last week, I think some of that emotion starts to settle the further into it you get, and reality of what you are as a team takes over, and what you are as a team is a team that has struggled this year for most of the year to run the football. You have a quarterback that is still a very average quarterback in the NFL. You're without your top two receivers, in all respect to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Great debut a week ago, but you're still down your top two weapons on the outside. Defensively, you've struggled to stop the run all season. You're the worst overall defense, total defense in the entire NFL. You're without the top two cornerbacks you thought were going to be your top two cornerbacks coming into the season. You've traded Lattimore, and we know what Debo's done for the year. Kool-Aid McKinstry's questionable, but likely to play, but he's still coming off an injury. And then Alontae Taylor is at his more natural position at a boundary corner, but we'll see how that goes. And even though Cleveland doesn't have Amari Cooper, who they traded, you still got to deal with David Njoku. You still have to deal with Jerry Jeudy. There are players on the offensive side of the ball for Cleveland that can make plays. I just look at this matchup, and the turnover margin is the thing I think that could tilt it for the Saints because they're +4. Cleveland's -7 for the season, and we know Jameis can be turnover prone. But I probably will take Cleveland to win this game in New Orleans coming off their bye. I don't think you're going to see a super high-scoring game because I don't think either one of these offenses are great, but I think both defenses are susceptible to giving up big plays, and I think Cleveland's ability maybe to run the football a little bit better than New Orleans. I'd probably take the Browns here. I'm curious how Saints fans would react to that if it does go that way, if the Saints do drop a game here. You'd love to have a win going into the bye with some good vibes after back-to-back wins. But the other part of it, too, is this is a lost season, and the Saints aren't going to put together some incredible streak and make a run to the playoffs. So really what I want to see is I want to see the young players get better. How does Alontae Taylor look on the boundary? How does Talia Seifuanga hold up against Myles Garrett? Those are the types of things that I want to see for the remainder of this season, more so than just what happens in the win-loss column. If the Saints get a win on Sunday, awesome. I'm always going to cheer for my team. I want them to win the game. I just think facing this Cleveland team that's finding it post Deshaun Watson is in a better spot, getting a little healthier and coming off their bye, while the Saints are still what they are. And what they are is not that Cleveland's great, but the Saints are not a very good team. I mean, as I look at the line here on Friday evening, Cleveland is now a 1-point favorite in the Dome, which tells you on a neutral field, Cleveland would be favored by 3 or 4 in this game. So, give me the Browns to win it in New Orleans. Close game, but I like the Browns because of their ability to run the football, especially if Cleveland protects the football. All right, it's After Further Review brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Locations all over South Louisiana. Hey, maybe you're hitting the road to head to Gainesville, or you're going to be hitting the road in a week or so for Thanksgiving. Make sure you bring your vehicle to Shaw Bills. They'll sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices, and they'll always treat you like family, which keep you coming back year after year after year. If you need that oil change, Shaw Bills. Tires rotated, Shaw Bills. Alignment, balancing, Shaw Bills. Squeaky brakes, Shaw Bills. Check engine light on, Shaw Bills. You get the point. It's Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. Miss Beth Barron voted the Modern Tire Dealer of the Year. National recognition for Shaw Bills because they're just the best. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. Shaw Bills. We keep you rolling. All right, y'all. Football Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We will step away from football for just a smidge. When we come back, the head coach of the LSU men's basketball team, Matt McMahon, fresh off a massive win over Kansas State. We'll talk to Matt McMahon next on AFR.
AFR.
Oh, y'all. It is just about Christmas tree season over at Clegg's Nursery. Told you yesterday, they have cleared out the spaces in the greenhouse for the Christmas trees. Those shipments are going to be arriving soon from their Christmas tree farm partners, but also, saw it earlier today, they've got their artificial trees already up and displayed over at Clegg's Nursery. So the real thing will be here in a jiffy, but the artificial trees are already there, ready, and set up at Clegg's Nursery. So get by any of the 4 Clegg's locations: Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Weekend is upon us. It's the time you're going to get out in the yard, just plant something. You want those fall flowers, that vegetable garden, trees, bedding plants. This is the time to do it. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Comes over up top of the left, and with the final seconds rolling off the clock, Matt McMahon and the Tigers get the win. The horn sounds, and this one's in the books. LSU comes to Manhattan, Kansas. It hands the Big 12 Kansas State their first loss of the year with a 76-65 win.
Did the Tigers just put the rest of the SEC on notice? I don't know who picked LSU 14th in the conference. I looked at him sideways. Boy, last night was a statement. Matt McMahon brought a squad up to Manhattan, Kansas, and got out of there with a double-digit win. Quad 1 wins are pretty nice come tournament time. Matt McMahon, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. How are you, sir?
Matt, doing great. Fun road trip.
I bet it was.
I was really, really fired up for our guys. I thought played really, really well. My only complaint, too many second-half turnovers. But outside of that, I thought it was really a complete performance by our players.
Man, I got a complaint. Where's the suit, man? I was ready to suit up. All boot up, so where's the suit? I want to suit up.
On the road. We're on the road, man. Got to put that rep that LSU brand strong on the road.
Okay. So home games, we're going with a suit. Road games, we're going LSU quarter zip?
I don't know. It's still up in the area. First game, I did that tribute to a mentor of mine, and then I was in the student section there at that Alabama football game, and a few of the guys said they were going to wear a suit if I would, so I threw one on for the second game. So we'll see what we do next week. We'll have a good time with it.
You're more comfortable? Well, obviously more comfortable, but like in like a quarter zip attire instead of the, like I mean, look. Walk out there like a boss in a suit, I'm with it, man. You can throw some sneakers on, I'm still with that as well. But, like, what's your preference?
All right, I'm all for the LSU gear, the quarter zip. But if you're saying suit up on Tuesday, I'll suit up.
Hey, man, I'll get the hashtag rolling. Instead of boot up, let's go suit up. Or boot up and suit up, however we could do it, man. Make it your thing. Can we get, like, an LSU-branded suit? I mean, let's get the Queen of Sparkles on it or something like that. I mean, Kim Mulkey can make this happen. All right, I'll ask you some legitimate questions. Okay, I know you like your team a lot. You didn't just win a road game. I mean, I kind of compared it to like big brother pinning down little brother and just like slapping him in the face. I mean, that from about the 9-minute mark of the first half, I mean, you all just completely controlled the game and dominated the glass. Did you see that type of performance coming from your team when y'all were wheels up to Manhattan?
Well, I wasn't sure. I didn't expect a plus 18 on the glass, but that was my favorite part of the game, certainly. The toughness our guys played with. Thought we were really dialed in defensively. And we really went in there with three keys. They were top 15 in the country in transition scoring. We gave up 2 transition baskets for the entire game, and both of those were in the last 2 minutes. We wanted to defend the three-point line, and they were 43% there. Had 2 guys that had made 15 threes between them in the first 2 games. You know, we hold them to 5 of 21 there, and then we wanted to be plus 10 on the glass, but I didn't expect it to be 43-25, and just thought it was a dominant performance there on the boards.
A big part of that was Corey Chest. He had only played 3 minutes against ULM. He comes out and gives you 13 rebounds in 21 minutes. Please explain what we saw from Corey Chest.
So it was awesome. He was just relentless. I think I've said it before. He's one of the best instinctual rebounders I've ever been around. You know, it's one of those things that's kind of hard to coach. You either are really good at it or you're not. And he just chases the ball. He was getting rebounds up above the square. He got a couple big offensive rebound putbacks. But I thought it was just a credit to his energy and his motor that he played with out there on the floor, and it made a huge impact on the game.
You gave him the tough tiger, the belt in the locker room after the game as well.
Yeah, he earned it. He earned it. That belt we give out really has nothing to do with scoring. It's who does the dirty work, the toughness plays that we believe impact winning. And he certainly graded out very high last night.
No doubt he did. Matt McMahon's with us here for a couple more minutes. How about Cam Carter going back to Manhattan? He scored 20. Obviously, the 3 coming out of the timeout with under 9 to play, right around that time, was just massive. They never got close again after that. This is safe to say this meant a little more for him going back to Manhattan.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he got to play in an Elite 8 team there. I will say this, Matt, it was one of the coolest things I've seen in my time. Opposing player, sold-out crowd, 11,000 people. When they announced Cam in the starting lineup, they gave him a standing ovation.
That's really cool. Man, you've done well. Obviously, those guards in the portal, they've made a great start. Had a great start to the season for you. I'm sorry. I think your phone cut out. You still there?
Oh, I'm sorry. You got me now?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You were saying that they gave him the standing ovation. I thought maybe you were done, but I guess your phone cut out. But please continue about Cam.
The standing ovation, 11,000 people was awesome to see. A great credit to their fan base. But I handled it. I think just great maturity. He's been so efficient for us so far, shooting the ball well from threes, getting to the free throw line. He's just really been impactful in all areas.
Matt McMahon's with us here just for a couple of more minutes. I want to ask you about a young guy too. I mentioned this earlier in the show. I looked at Victorious Miller and he looks like an NBA guy to me. I don't know. I'm certain that you agree. You probably think about that about all your guys. But what do you see as far as the skill set there and projectability for what he could be? Because man, he is exciting to watch.
Well, the 2 things you just said there, he does have size for the position at 6'5", and he is highly skilled. And I thought you saw all that on display yesterday. And he gave us a huge lift. I mean, that was one of the big things of the game, Matt. I mean, 4 of the 9 guys we played are freshmen. So we went on the road and played a bunch of young guys, and I thought they stepped up and delivered. You get Victorious gets 15 points, and then Corey as a freshman, 13 rebounds. That's hard to do as freshmen on the road in a Power 4 game.
I got 2 more things. Charleston Southern next up Tuesday back at the Maravich Center. What can you tell us, maybe a little thumbnail about the Buccaneers?
Yeah, it's actually part of that tournament we're going to next weekend. You get one home game. So Charleston Southern, their 2 best players have been out here early, so not sure on their timetable getting back. But we're excited to get back home. And then we leave Wednesday for the Greenbrier tournament in West Virginia and tip off with a really good Pittsburgh team that some people think will be at the top of the ACC standings. So be another great opportunity at a quad 1 game next Friday.
Matt McMahon just inked one of the top signing classes in the country as well. I'd be remiss if I didn't at least get a thought on the week that you had there. And I think perspective matters when you pull back out to the 10,000-foot view. And remember when you were hired within 2 weeks, you had no scholarship players. And you had to grind through that first year. But now, is it about where going at the pace and the rhythm, the program overall, I mean, that you thought it would be at this point, considering the signing, the win this week and obviously the signing class that you had?
Well, I think you're trying to stack those classes back to back. And last year's class, we talked about those 4 freshmen and their impact in the game last night. That was a number 10 ranked class in the country. Now you follow it up with the 3 guys we signed on Wednesday. Depending on your recruiting service of choice, I think it's ranked anywhere from 4th to 12th in the country to this point. And then I thought the other big key, you and I have talked about it before, Matt, I don't want to live in the portal. And we had to use the portal just to fill out a roster when I first got here. But the 3 portal guys we took this spring, Jordan Sears, Cam Carter, and Jai Bailey, perfect fit for how I want to play and how we want to build the program at LSU. So I think we got a good mix there, back-to-back talented freshman classes, plus the work that's been done in the portal. Long way to go. We're 3 games in. But I really like the direction of the team and the program.
Matt McMahon, Tigers 3-0. They'll be back at the Maravich Center on Tuesday. Y'all get out and see the squad. Always appreciate the time. Thank you.
All right, Matt. Have a great weekend. Go Tigers.
You do the very same. The possibly suited Matt McMahon. He said if I want him suited, he'll suit.
I mean, look, I don't think you mess with it right now. You wore it twice at home, 1. You wore the sweats on the road, 1. I think you got a good thing going. You roll with it.
Man, I'll say it to you this way. You ever walk in a room when you walk in the room and you are the best dressed person in the room? You know that feeling? Everybody notices you. Hard to miss him. I'm just saying. Make everybody else look like a scrub. Whoever's standing on another bench, make them look like a scrub. Matt McMahon can wear that suit to Supper Club. Yeah, he could. Don't need it, but you can wear it. SupperClubBTR.com for reservations. SupperClubBTR.com. Man, you still have that soundbite from SVP or from SVP and Stanford Steve? If you missed this, go check out the SV Pod. Stanford Steve, of course, and the Game Day crew was here last week. Our friends over at Supper Club fed the Game Day crew. And Thursday before the game, they all went out to dinner at Supper Club. And Stanford Steve was on the SV Pod with Van Pelt and said Supper Club. Remember, they go somewhere different every week. Different city, different, fine restaurant, whatever. Like, listen to what Stanford Steve said on the SV Pod with Van Pelt.
Supper Club, this place, I can't even tell you how good it is. He's got Alaskan king crab legs sautéed. He's got the Wagyu from Japan. Like, it's the meat is like one of 11 places in the world you can get it. Like, he has gone to a level that is beyond anything we've ever had. Saban and McAfee said this is the best tasting thing they've ever had.
So, you can go to New York, you can go to San Francisco, Miami, Paris, Dubai, go anywhere in the world. Or you can go to Supper Club on Perkins Road. That's the gift Brandon and Mackenzie Landry wanted to give to Baton Rouge. That was their whole objective with Supper Club, was to say, let's bring incredible, world-class options to Baton Rouge so you don't have to get on a plane and fly to Dubai to have an experience like this. You could have it right there on Perkins Road at Supper Club. Get your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. All right, thanks to Matt McMahon for joining us. Phil Steele was here in hour one. Theriot, I had to scoot just a bit ago. Let me knock out our final break of the show, y'all. We'll come back. I'll give you a pick on LSU and Florida final preview and prediction. We'll do that next. It's AFR.
After further review.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 1 week from today, friends over at River City's 1 Hour Air will be back at the Scone household for my preseason heater safety check. Practice what I preach. And it helps because I'm part of the membership club. I always encourage you to do this. You can do what you want. They'll let you, in River City's 1 Hour Air, they're never going to put any pressure on you. They'll let you make your own decisions. But the maintenance club, it's so worth it. You end up getting front-of-the-line service, membership club pricing, and the seasonal maintenance is complimentary, so that effectively pays for itself. So you get your heater safety check and your AC tune-up seasonally. They call you and they do it. It's free. That pays for itself and extends the life of your unit. I tell you all the time, even if you're not a maintenance club member, still call River City's 1 Hour Air. Get the heater safety check. Make sure that heater is running efficiently and safely for the cold weather months. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
Let's talk turkey. Bayou Ford can get you in a new 2024 Ford F-150 with $15,000 off MSRP. $15,000 off America's favorite F-150 truck. All new Bayou automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Probably. All right, down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Football Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. T-Bob and I will be at Don Juan soon as the game goes final. Clock hits 0. You know where to find us. We'll be there at Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. So come watch the game or hang out with us after. If you can't be at Don Juan, make sure you catch us on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel for Whiskey and Wine. Okay, Tigers and Gators Saturday, 2:30. LSU's won 5 straight in the series. We've gone over it plenty this week. A ton on the line for LSU, improbably, especially considering the way last week went. But we've gone through the numbers. If LSU manages to beat Florida, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, and get just a smidge of help, Georgia beating Tennessee, Arkansas beating Missouri, boom, LSU is in Atlanta playing for the SEC championship, and a win gets you into the college football playoff. It sounds bonkers to say, but that's the scenario unfolding. But it only matters if you manage to win out. So it starts with going to win at Florida. At this point, when you're 9 games into the season, I guess there's parts that you can improve, but in some respect, you are what you are. And we focused a lot on the negative. And the negative has been you can't stop running quarterbacks. And Nussmeier, in 6 of the 9 games you've played, has had multiple turnovers or has had a turnover in 6 of the 9 games you've played. So you got a turnover-prone quarterback, and you got a defense that can't stop mobile quarterbacks. The defense, however, is really good at one thing. And Brian Kelly, number 9, please, talked about this on Thursday, where, well, yes, we have highlighted and hyper-focused on the thing they do very poorly, and it is obvious what they do very poorly, and we all know it. But what about the thing they do well?
Nobody wants to see our defense in a passing situation. This league does not like LSU's defense when it's a passing situation. We create havoc. They kind of like us when it's 2 tight ends and the quarterback's running the ball. We got to figure that out. And so, we've got to have the answers for those things because it'd be nice if teams would drop back. It seems when they do that, we kind of get after the quarterback pretty good. We sacked the quarterback at Mississippi 8-9 times. We knocked one of the quarterbacks at A&M out of the game. We made it difficult for South Carolina to keep their quarterback in the game. We made it really difficult on Arkansas. So you can understand that this is about coaching and understanding what the next adjustment needs to be.
LSU is 11th in the country in sacks. They are really, really good at getting after a quarterback that can't take off and run. The 2 things that LSU has done pretty well this year: harass the quarterback and cover. They're pretty good at covering. They're dramatically better than they were a year ago in pass coverage. So if you play a game where the quarterback isn't going to be a giant threat to hurt you with his feet, I think it really tilts the scales back toward the LSU defense. Listen, the last 5.5 quarters have been miserable to watch. But we can't also lose sight of what the perception was of this team when LSU was up 10 with 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter against Texas A&M. You had won 6 in a row. You beat Ole Miss. You suffocated Arkansas on the road when they were coming off a bye. And you had a double-digit lead on the road at Texas A&M against Connor Wegman. And then you face Marcel Reed. And then you face Jalen Milroe. And we all know what your Achilles heel is. DJ Lagway is going to play. And I think DJ Lagway is a fine young player and a super talent. There's a reason he was a 5-star. But I've watched enough sports to know you don't get carted off the field with a hamstring injury and 2 weeks later, boom, you're shipshape, no problem. I don't think DJ Lagway is going to be able to run around and make plays with his feet. I think he's going to be a sitting duck. And I wouldn't be stunned if we see Austin Warner in this game against LSU. And if that's the case, God bless that kid because it ain't going to go well. Because Florida's got a banged-up offensive line that's not very good to begin with. And you sick LSU's pass rush with the confusion Blake Baker has created at times on those 2 guys. And I think that heavily weights toward LSU. Now, when you flip it over, Florida is not very good on defense. And nobody's going to feel sorry for Florida, but they're down 8 starters. Potentially more depending on some of the game time decisions. They're going to be without a starting linebacker. They got a safety who's moving to boundary corner. They're not very good in coverage to begin with. And you got a lot of dudes that are going to be running free in that secondary. You got an option. You have an opportunity to move the ball through the air and go get going offensively. against a team that's in the 90s or triple digits nationally in every major statistical category. The LSU offense has weapons. They have been good when they don't turn the ball over. So as long as Garrett Nussmeier plays within himself, I think that had a chance to be really good. Brian Kelly was asked about Garrett Nussmeier on Thursday night and the week he's had, and this is what Brian Kelly said.
I've spent a lot of time with him this week. I think he's been thoughtful, intentional. He's taken leadership. I just like the way he's locked in this week. And my experience tells me that when a quarterback is this locked in, you might want to watch the game because I think he's going to have a heck of a game.
Hopefully that's foreshadowing. That goes well. Garrett Nussmeier has had an incredible season, y'all. He's thrown for 2,800 yards and 21 touchdowns through 9 games. That's amazing. That would be the 7th. If the season ended today, it would be the 7th best season in LSU history. He's just got to go protect the football. See if he can. I like the Tigers 30-24. Defense is not perfect. They're going to give up yards and points, I think. You might even have some turnovers. But if LSU protects the football and gets after the quarterback, Tigers should get out of there a win. 2 home games to go. See how the chips and let the chips fall where they may. LSU 30-24 Saturday in Gainesville. All right, just about going to do it for us. Always appreciate our friends over at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com. Gents, we're getting closer to the holidays. If you're thinking of popping the question, go where all of Louisiana is going to get engaged for more than 30 years. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. 9 locations in all: Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, and online, lmfj.com. Okay, y'all, that'll do it for us here. Muse Paulie, appreciate it. If you miss anything, catch AFR On Demand podcast or YouTube. Go Tigers. Who dat? We'll see you Monday at 3.
After further review.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Parrish Construction and Roofing. You visit parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Tell you every day to do business with someone you know. Remember, when you hear our jingle, you hear the part where it says from the top of your roof all the way down. One of the things that we've done at Parrish, and that's why it's Parrish Construction and Roofing, is we're not just roofing. If you have some kind of issue, let's say you have water intrusion in your home and you have a roof issue, yeah, we can come inspect your roof and we can get you full roof repair or full roof replacement. But let's say you have water intrusion. You need decking. You need electrical. You have mold and you need mold remediation. We have Parrish Restoration. We can handle all of it, so you're dealing with one contractor. And it's not like us subbing everything out. We have all of those services in-house, so you're dealing with one contractor. It's Parrish Construction and Roofing. Do business with someone you love. We'd love to help you out. We give you that free, no-obligation roofing inspection. Just go to parishbuilt.com, fill out the form on the homepage. Watch the video of Coach Mulkey there on the homepage as well. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the